Hey, sorry if you can hear me. Just hang in there. Once I get the stream started, I'm gonna pop you up on the screen. Sorry, I was like super distracted trying to get this shit done. I'm so far behind. I'm so sorry. Hey, big ship. Yeah, well, we're gonna get Moxie in here in 1 second. In fact, I'm just gonna get the stream started a little early because I've been making her wait for freaking ever. Alright, so now that I am here, let me go ahead and give Moxie a chance to get situated. Hopefully she's good to go. Let me get the music shut off. Sorry, guys. It has been a crazy freaking day. I thought I was going to be better prepared than this. No, I messaged her a little bit ago and said, you know, I'm just going to be having like half an hour to even get all my shit ready. So it's unfortunate. It's a bummer, but that's just kind of the way that adult life goes. All right. So let me see here 1 second. I think we are set up. We got Rumble going. We have got YouTube going. I've got all my shit brought up here. Let's go ahead and get her in here. Yo, you went all out. Holy crap.
What did I do? What did I do?
No, like, I don't know. You got like, you're glowing. I love it. You look, I mean, far be it for me to, you know, say anything about my appearance, but you look fantastic.
Thank you, but I will say it's a thing. It's a grift because I hit a dono goal and I'm a dum dum because on Saturday's grift stream, I said if we hit this tier, it's Gothy Moxie all streams all month.
Okay, I got you now. I see it. I got it.
My mistake in that I said all streams, everyone else's streams, not just my own.
So
bad
you're on
me.
the hook for everyone's streams. That's insane.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I'm not dressing up. I am in my pajama pants. I got my flannel on. I'm staying the way that I am.
Maybe I'm always this way. Who knows? Maybe I dress down usually.
I mean, maybe that's it, but for me personally, I think when I did your Star Trek stream and I had the monk outfit on, that was the only time I've ever dressed up for a stream in my entire life. Maybe, unless you count like Halloween, but that's a whole difference.
It's too bad that bald cap didn't work out.
No, that thing was friggin' awful. I even tried. I tried to get my hair inside. I don't have a whole lot of hair. I tried to get my hair inside the net just to get that thing over my head. It's like, it's not working. Hey, Pulse Mannequin, how's it going? Yeah, so Big Ship was here, but he had to leave. So Moxie, I'm gonna let people start filtering in. I'm starting a little, even though I'm behind. What time is it now? Okay, it's technically a little early for my streams, even though usually like I'm telling people, oh yeah, a little after 9:15, whatever. Unfortunately, it takes people a minute to wake up and get in here. So, in the meantime, if you just want to kind of plug your channel, I'm going to drop a link to your channel in the chat. Kind of tell, I mean, we have a large crossover, I think, in our audience, but maybe tell some people who don't know you what kind of stuff you cover, where they can find you, all that good stuff.
We do have quite a bit of crossover, and I am always asking you, like, or trying to recount how we came to cross paths in the first place, because it was like, I don't know, maybe Ricada era?
Yes, it was during the Nick Ricada era. That was probably it.
Before the downfall.
Yeah, that was an interesting turn of events. Honestly, that could be like a documentary series on its own.
Yeah. So we found each other during that time, apparently. I was a new baby channel, and since then I had a rebrand this past year into Moxie Dame.
That's right, because you were Waifu Kron at the time, weren't you?
Waifu Kron. Yeah, Waifu Kron. People jokingly call me Wi-Fi Chrome. A whole bunch of other names.
Oh my god, Wi-Fi Chrome, that's hilarious.
Wi-Fi Chrome. Yeah, so I initially created the channel to do whatever I wanted, which typically kind of crossed over between LawTube, true crime, and nerdy stuff. And since then, it's kind of evolved a bit, and I hang out with more nerds these days. And modern
present company included, yes.
Present company included, and so I'm getting educated on all of the things happening in the modern gaming sphere for all of you people that have moved on from the 2005 MMORPGs that I'm still stuck on. Um, but yeah, so
Oh,
it's
yeah, you play City of Heroes, right?
City of Heroes was my jam. I hadn't played in a bit, but it's kind of my go-to. It's been revived over the last couple of years, early 2024. I think it was 2024. Um, there was confirmation that NCSoft was gonna like not pursue any legal beagle anything against the people that have been keeping it alive for the last 20
Sure,
years,
yeah.
secretly self-funded, all the things. It's a great community still. But yeah,
NC Soft. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, South
NCSoft
Korean. Okay.
Paragon Studios is what it originated as,
Okay, they're the
and then they
ones
were
that did
purchased.
Lineage 2, Guild Wars 2. Yeah, because I played Guild Wars. So I'm like, why does NC Soft sound familiar? Yeah, I played Guild Wars back in the day. I loved freaking Guild Wars. You can't
When did
really hear
Guild Wars
Moxie?
come out?
Guild Wars came out in 2005. Um,
Okay, so what had happened with that was NCSoft purchased City of Heroes, and then they wanted to push Guild Wars and other games that they had, so they kind of just put it on the back burner. But the people that were still actively playing it were like, "What the fuck?" Like they took it offline and
okay, I got
everything,
you.
and then a little secret cabal of people like kept it alive on private servers and were like creating new zones. And since then, it's just like it's expanded. So City of Heroes, City of Villains, it's still alive and well. They have a Discord where they post like their expenses for the servers and their maintenance costs and all that. And it's like totally group like community funded within 3 days of them posting their expenses every month. It's a beautiful thing.
Wow. Hey, Moxie, do me a favor. On your end, from where you connected, um, they're saying they can't really hear you, and that's because Streamlabs is ass. On your end, go ahead and turn your microphone up. Usually, when I have a guest on, they have to do that.
Where do I do that in Streamlabs?
I don't know. I've never been invited to a stream on Streamlabs. I have no idea. I'm the only person that I swear to God uses this thing. But the problem is,
Like,
for solo streams, I've got all this stuff set up, so it's like
what if I bring it closer? Is that better? I
does
wasn't having
Moxie
mic
have a
issues
mic
earlier.
issue? Um,
Typically, no.
to me, there's just a little bit of crispy sounding, like it's kind of like a little crackly, but not bad. Hey, Moxie, you could try leaving and coming back in and seeing if that fixes it.
I'll do that. Also, my video is choppy on my end. Is that common with Streamlabs?
No, it's the first time I was noticing it too. So maybe
Hmm.
just try
All right.
leaving and coming back.
Burb.
Hey guys, it wouldn't be a Wednesday or a Monday or a Friday or any day that I stream if we didn't have technical issues. Hey, Burner over on Twitter, Patriot. Yeah, I was noticing her mic was a little crackly. I was thinking it was me for a second, but if that's a thing and you guys are hearing it, then it's clearly it sounds electronic or something like an artificial vocal fry. Yeah, that's kind of what I was picking up on too. So usually these streams, again, when I had Kilted Cajun on, not so much Leon, but when we had hardcore mode and 40k Empress, I kind of like to take the first few minutes and make sure everything is kind of set before we even try bothering with going through the topics and everything else, because technical difficulties can really derail a stream really fast if you're not prepared for them. One of these days, I swear to God, I am halfway set up on Rumble Studio. The problem with Rumble Studio or even StreamYard that I don't like about them is the fact that there is just this whole... Oh, excuse me. I'm burping now. Costco hot dog. Oh, okay. So with Rumble Studio, there's not a whole lot of options. There's not a whole lot of like ability to do like stinger transitions and a whole lot of other stuff. So that's the one downside to that. Other than that, I am going to eventually have Rumble Studio set up for when we have guests on. Same with StreamYard, one or the other. I know Rumble Studio is trying to incentivize people to use it, but that's typically only for like Rumble Premium members, and I just don't use Rumble that much, to be honest. I used to use Rumble quite a bit. All right, it looks better. Hang on. Try speaking.
Try speaking.
Whoa, that's so much better.
Oh, okay. I think it was an NVIDIA broadcast issue.
Oh, so it wasn't me. Yes.
I'm still blaming you.
You can't blame me for that one. Hey, I can't remember. How long ago did you get your computer that you're currently using? It was a couple years ago, right?
Probably spring of 2023.
Did you build it or did you buy it?
I went through cyber.
Okay, so you got it pre-built. All right, cool.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, 'cause I remember everybody around that time was getting computers, and that's when my computer was about 3 years old. And I'm still using the same computer, except I've swapped some parts out. And my computer is like, when I was doing my thumbnail, I had Canva open, and my graphics card kicked on, and it's like, like it's like, oh no, here we go again. I'm thinking it's about time to replace that thing. But I was just thinking about that, because around that same time, everybody I knew got new computers, and mine was like Stone Age at that point, so. Yeah, so now if we can get her to turn her volume up, that'd be fantastic. But she doesn't know how, Ryan.
I don't have a volume dongle thingy.
See, she
bobber.
says she has no dongle. No dongle.
No, all female here, no dongle. I can change the gain. Does that help?
I should ask somebody who was here. I should finally, like, get a hold of one of my previous guests and say, how did you turn up your audio?
Well, okay, so some people use OBS and they use the virtual camera through OBS, and you can boost your input or output
Right.
Through that, but just Streamlabs and StreamYard, just the basic setup. I have no idea.
Well, see, Patriot, it's not just her, though. It's every single time I've had a guest on, I can hear her just fine. It's perfectly loud in my ears. But you guys have a hard time hearing her. So, I don't know. And that's not something I can control. Oh, wait. Hey, Moxie. I'm retarded. Hang on. Now try.
Your fault.
It's all my fault. I'm retarded.
Professional streamers here.
Okay, that one you can blame on me. Okay, no. Understand this. You get this, right? This is why I have always done my own thing for so long. Like, back when I used to play with my friends, like just playing computer games on Twitch, we would use like either Xbox's game chat or we would use Discord, obviously. And that is, you log into the chat room, you log back out. It's that simple, right? Yes, Patriot, I know is my fault. I am terminally retarded, okay? I understand.
It's an affliction that plagues us all.
Yeah, it's just, today has been such a shit show. So I thought, so two of my kids had their baseball practices today. My daughter doesn't have anything else for the entire spring break. My boys each have a baseball game tomorrow, and then they're done for spring break. So I was thinking today, I left work, I had to go to Costco. I sent you a picture of my dinner. It was delicious, Costco hot dog. Yeah, I'm still burping that thing up. And no, I thought, okay, I have enough time. I can do my Costco shopping, swing by, pick up a couple of my kids. Yes, Richie, I'm a retard, I know. And then I could just come home, unload my groceries, and start getting set up. No. By the time I got done doing dishes, taking out garbage, walking the dog, getting a shower, all these things, I sat down and I'm like, I have literally 30 minutes and nothing to talk about. No thumbnail, nothing. So it's a miracle I'm even here, okay?
Where's the shame bell? Shame. Walk through the streets.
What I can do, although here's the thing too, I try to avoid using video when I'm streaming. With somebody else because of the fact that you can't see, well, you can see it typically. I just gotta make sure you're set up here. You can't hear anything. Let me share my screen with you that I'm watching. So typically I try to just have video without audio that we have to worry about. So.
Okay.
Angry Badger with 5 gifted memberships. Holy crap. Hang on, I gotta get the alerts turned on. That one deserves, oh, I can't replay it. What?
Angry Badger is one of the nerds I frequently stream with.
Oh, no, I know. He was on a panel that I think I was on one time. What was that? Was it your Griftathon
my
thing?
Grift stream.
Yeah. That was fun.
It's a weird mix of people for those Grift streams, typically.
What are you doing, puppy? Come here. I'm so used to having you, that there are pugs in the background. This is weird. It's too quiet.
NVIDIA broadcast was supposed to dampen that. That was early days, Waifukron.
That was funny, though. After having a pug for so long, I was like, oh my god, I can relate. Hey, Angry Badger, thank you for the 5 gifted, dude. That's way too generous. All right, so now that you're here, now that I'm here, now that we can hear you, and queer, very queer, but queer in the unusual way, not the gay way, no homo. Have you seen any of this stuff?
You're California adjacent, so...
I was born in California.
Oh, see, it's in your blood.
Yes, I was born in Hemet. I lived in Riverside till I was like 4, and then moved up here.
The Inland Empire.
The shithole. Riverside is an absolute shithole. What are you talking about?
It's kind of the gooch of California.
Do you know where Paris Valley is?
Sounds familiar.
Okay, that's where I was. Basically, that's where I lived the first 3.5 years of my life. The city hasn't changed.
Fancy though.
Oh God,
Paris
no.
Valley.
No, I'm talking bars on the window. Like everybody was getting shot, gangs, all sorts of stuff when I was a kid. So no, it is not good. I am much happier to be here.
No, the internet tells me Paris Valley, California is a region located in Riverside County known for its family-friendly atmosphere and recreational activities.
Maybe
False
now.
news.
Maybe
Fake
now. Not at the time.
news. I don't believe the internet. They're trying to get people to move there.
Yeah, we'll see. Ryan
Don't look
says
at the
I've
crime
moved over
statistics.
55 times in my life. I've moved 30 times, but not 55. That's impressive.
Do better.
Probably close to 30 times. Richie says girlfriend's dad just got discharged from the hospital after 3 days. Way to go. There you go. Yeah, he was had a heart attack. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Glad he's doing better, though. That's awesome. All right. So, hey, Drew, 209. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Unless you're talking area codes.
209 times that he's moved, maybe?
No, maybe like the 209. I don't know. I don't know if that's an area code anywhere near you.
I
You
don't
guys
know.
are
Throw up
all.
the gang signs that you know. Go for it.
My son was trying
You know,
to do that.
you know at least one.
I don't.
You know at least one.
I don't. My son was doing that though. So where we live, everybody's white. We are poor. Everyone else has money. And the baseball team he's on, this got all these kids, all these white boys. They all listen to rap music. And the whitest kid on the team's like throwing up gang signs. I'm like, dude, stop. You got to stop this. It's bad.
Breaks, dude. No, the one that I grew up, my town, you can't really tell. Well, I don't think it mirrors it. I don't know. But yeah, SP. You kind of like have to bend your fingers a little funny and like throw the P down, like
Okay. Yeah.
side, you know, like
People do that kind of stuff
like
here for
that.
area codes. I'm like, no, that's cringe. Don't do that. When it says family friendly, it means friendly to a certain family of firearms. Hey, I'd be fine with that. Yeah. I mean, Moxie is a fellow 2A enthusiast, right? So
yes.
never do that again. That's like when you hand somebody a gun, like if they've never fired a gun and you take them to a range and they take the pistol and then they just turn it sideways, you know? It's like, no, never do that, ever.
Actually, we had mandated firearms instruction to get the concealed carry permit. So you have to do 16 hours.
Ooh, California. They're going to do that here pretty soon.
Yeah, so some of it's classwork where the guy just talks you through a PowerPoint and then you go to the range and you do all the qualifying stuff that you have to do. And then everyone leaves that aren't cool. And then like a small group sticks around and then you start doing drills and stuff. Way more fun. And he's like, you got to practice shooting with your other hand, shoot sideways. Like he was going through it. I'm like, okay, this is fun. And then you put dummy rounds inside my magazine. Like,
yeah.
So then you have to like clear the jam and like, so like rack it and tap it and then go again. And he's like, go. 1, 3, 2, 6. Like you have to, it was intense. It was so fun.
I wish I would have known this at the time because I could have found that video. Have you seen those crazy like range training videos where they have the girl and she's shooting and the guy's like whacking her with a baton and they've got like they're throwing water in her face? It is the most dangerous shit you'll ever see. It's like, this is not like safe firearms training, right? But they're trying to like prepare her for anything. And it's like, nobody's going to be hitting you or throwing water in your face when you're shooting. Okay. Well, maybe punching you. Maybe punching you.
You don't know that.
Sure. But like throwing a bottle of water in your face while you're shooting. It's like what you're trying to do is like get somebody shot in the process. This is just a bad idea. So,
bad idea. Yes.
Could be fun. Could be fun. Hey, Asian peers. Yeah, the guy's name is My Asian Peers in California Are Lefties But Me. Fantastic YouTube name. I love it.
Yay, Asians.
Yeah, we like Asians here. Not too much, though.
A small percentage of me.
We like the white adjacents.
The white adjacents.
The other white meat, as they're also known. All right. I think we've gone long enough. We can start being racist now. No. So,
Racisms.
What do you think about this whole dire wolf thing? I know you've been like, busy and stuff, but have you seen anything about this cloning of these dire wolves?
I did. And it's like, there's some people that are like, oh, that's super dangerous. Why would you want to bring an animal back that's been extinct for so long? But in actuality, actually, it's not a Jurassic Park situation. They did fuse the DNA from what they were able to recover in with modern wolves. And so it's a whole new I don't know. Is it even a hybrid? Can it breed?
It's not a hybrid. It's a bastardization. So it's just a gray wolf that they've truly just like painted a different color. So That's the thing, is it's through this whole biotech lab, right? And all they really did was they combined genomes, I guess. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm going to sound retarded talking about this because this is
You're
not
not?
something. No, no.
False advertising. I thought I was coming.
Look, I'm only an expert in things that I'm willing to argue about. This is not something I'm willing to argue about. Okay, I am not an expert. Why wouldn't you want to bring back the dire wolf? Well, here's the thing. Somebody actually talked about it. I think it was Mudahar over on Some Ordinary Gamers. I was listening to him talk about it. And he's like, the problem is if you take these quote unquote apex predators that existed 1,000, 10,000 years ago, however long ago you know, how far back you go, and release them into the wild, they have no known predators. And so they're just going to start killing everything around them. So if you try to quote unquote bring something back to be like, you know, humane, you're actually doing a disservice to all the other animals around it. So it's going to completely upset the ecosystem.
Has anyone made the claim that they're bringing it back to be humane? Or is it just a mad scientist type of...
The thought process is, and part of the idea behind this colossal bioscience place, is that they're trying to essentially, I guess, right the wrongs that humanity's done, because humanity is responsible for a lot of deforestation, unintentional extinction. They say that anywhere from 400 to 10,000 species have gone extinct in the last, I don't know, couple thousand years, right? It could be, you know, bacteria, it could be insects, could be birds, could be plant life in the ocean. God only knows. Who knows what it really is? So essentially the idea is they're trying to undo humanity's influence on the earth by, you know, bring back the woolly mammoth, things that we've hunted into extinction.
But the world has moved on. It's not the same environment that they were in, that they existed in.
Right, but that's the thing.
Thousands upon thousands of years ago. So how do you take something that had an environment totally different and expect them to thrive in what, the new world? Like,
well, they wouldn't.
Is that really all that humane?
No, these things are going to have to live in captivity. So it says in March, the company revealed the woolly mouse. And oh, I remember, this is the same place. They have it's a super hairy mouse with a thicker coat of fur modeled after the woolly mammoth. ABC News was given exclusive. Yeah, it's a woolly mouse. It's a mouse with woolly mammoth hair. It's the weirdest looking thing. So for this dire wolf, it says we've taken a gray wolf genome, a gray wolf cell, which is already genetically 99.5% identical to dire wolves because they're very closely related. Mm-hmm. If they're 99.5% the same, then what's the point of bringing back the other one? I don't understand. I don't get it. This is just that morbid fascination. Yeah, because they can. Morbid fascination. These will turn into pets for rich people? Most likely. It'll keep the cheats off my property.
Or trophies for the super rich.
That too, yeah, exactly. Oh my god, they're gonna bring back woolly mammoth, and it's gonna. Did you watch?
Why don't they focus on those that are going extinct, like the white rhino? Or, I mean, can't we do something about those that are actively going extinct versus those thousands of years that have no place to go?
It's gonna end up like The Purge. You watch The Purge? Any of the movies?
I think I saw the first one many years ago.
The first two are the only like really good ones, anyways. But you get the concept. You know, the super rich people get to hunt the poor people because they are isolated, and every day crime is legal for 12 hours. This is going to be like that. They're going to create these animals, and super rich people are going to get to go hunt them on an island somewhere. You just wait and see. Wait till they're going to start advertising like T-Rex hunting, although dinosaurs didn't exist, so you can't bring them back. So whatever. Let's see, the woolly mouse. I wish they quit using my I'm not even reading that.
Oh my goodness, DB Wild.
Are you familiar with DB Wild? I assume you know him.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He's part of the cross-pollination that's happened.
Yeah. I've bumped into him into a few other chats, and it's like, oh, this guy. Guns would have made those movies a lot shorter. If no, dude, honestly, it's really funny because people are like using baseball bats and all sorts of shit in the Purge. I'm like, no, just get like a good rifle and you're set.
Are there rules for using firearms in those?
Oh no, you can do whatever you want to. In the Purge, it's like literally. But then they get people. It's like they don't have body armor. They put on silly masks and costumes, and they walk around the city like trying to find people to kill. It's like, dude, one well-armed like group of people with like plate armor and stuff, they wouldn't stand a chance. But whatever.
So it's not to be effective, it's to be gruesome.
The idea is that because society had gotten so violent, they had to have the Purge to release their violent tendencies once a year. In actuality, it was the government trying to do like population control and get rid of the poor people, is basically what it turned out to be. So Then the third, I think it was the third Purge movie, they try to make it like it was a racism thing because they're just trying to get rid of the black
no.
people. Yeah, I'm like, okay, there we go.
Here we go. What year abouts did that one come out?
Purge 3, I want to say like 5 to 7 years ago. So probably.
Oh, yeah, right in the thick of it.
Yeah, I think probably right about the right time. I could be off a little bit. There they are. Here we go. Them woolly mice.
Look, they're tribbles.
Yeah, they look like tribbles, don't they?
There's trouble with tribbles. Mm-hmm.
DB says I enjoy being referred to as this guy rather than that guy. Super offensive just being that guy. Oh no, I would never call you that guy. It's this guy for sure. But yeah, so a lot of people have pointed out that this is just not exactly something you want to mess with. But yeah, I'm going to play a little bit of the video without necessarily the audio, because you can't hear the audio anyways.
Well, I'll just listen on YouTube.
Okay, well yeah, they're howling.
Oh, the howls are cute.
Well yeah, the howls are cute, but what happens when, you know, they start mutating? Like, I've seen the way this movie goes.
Why would they mutate?
Because they're messing with science. Once you start messing with nature and you start bastardizing things like this, it's gonna go bad.
How many decades have we been
now 6 months old have been seen by the public?
Why did it get so loud all of a sudden? Oh no, I lost her. Where did she go? Hang on a second. What did you do now? What did you do? You just disappeared on me.
I wasn't touching anything.
Sure, okay. You didn't touch anything.
I didn't touch anything. The Streamlabs screen went blank. You were gone.
I don't know. Blame Streamlabs. It's not my fault. I'm using the software. Yeah, you're back. Can you not see yourself? I can see you.
I don't see myself on the YouTube side.
You're probably behind.
Oh, it's behind. There's a lag.
Dude, that's another thing I have to fix. Everyone's like, wow, there's a massive delay on your stream. I'm like, I know. It's just me being lazy and busy. I have no time for anything. I can't fix shit around here. Okay, this is so bad. Hey, Remy. Is Moxie a natural redhead? Why are you asking that question, Patriot? You do know that you're not supposed to ask that question, right?
It's enhanced.
It's
I had auburn tones back in the day when I had natural hair color, but there's a little bit of a fire break going on, so need to touch that up.
I'll admit the wolves are cute, but still, no. We just no. This needs to not happen. We need to not be doing this. This guy here.
God.
Yeah, this guy Alex Strudwick Young. He sounds smart with a name like Alex Strudwick. This seems massively overhyped. Creating the dire wolves called for making just 20 edits and 14 genes in the common gray wolf. In other words, it's not a dire wolf, it's a gray wolf modified to be more like a dire wolf. That's a cool achievement, but they have not brought the dire wolf back, sorry. So I actually asked this question, I think when Leon was on. And I'm like, if you technically, or this might have been on Monday, if humans went extinct, right? And some alien race came back and they were like, okay, we're gonna bring back humans. But essentially they had to take our DNA and fuse it with another animal to create humans. Would we really be humans? Or is it just like a copy of a copy? Yes, or something else, exactly.
Would it be a new species?
That's what I'm saying.
Did they procreate?
I would assume so.
What are the characteristics that change? What makes them different?
See, now you're putting more thought into it than I did. I'm just saying, technically speaking, if you're creating something out of nothing, well, okay, not something out of nothing. You're taking a few genes and taking something else that already exists, and you're altering the thing that exists to try to make it copy the thing that used to exist. You're not really even, like at that point, I don't even consider it cloning, because you're not actually bringing back the original thing. You're making it's an imitation. It's like an artificial sweetener, you know?
I didn't know that broccoli didn't come about on its own.
What?
It was created. Broccoli is a created vegetable.
Tell me it's not connected to cauliflower, please.
I don't remember.
Because I hate cauliflower. I really hate cauliflower. Really? Oh my god.
Do you like broccoli?
I love broccoli. I hate cauliflower. The texture thing. Oh, like I've said before, some folks strive for perfection in their streams, but here all it takes is a bit of minimal effort. Hang on. You get that little wah 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 wah. I used to think hybrids couldn't reproduce, but some can have offspring with the original parent. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a case-by-case basis, to be honest. I don't know. Changing my name to Dr. Moreau and make Catwoman waifus for my island. What is with the Catwoman thing? Like the cat girl. Why is that a thing? The cat girls. Why is that a thing?
You know, you're all perverted furries.
Hmm.
I don't care. It's not adjacent. You're just one of them.
Thank you. Because honestly, I don't get it. There are those people who would be like, "Oh, you know, I'm not a furry, but I like cat girls," and it's like, no, man, you're basically a furry light. You're well on your way to having a fursuit in like 5 years.
Okay, did somebody lie to me about broccoli? Because I believe them.
Wouldn't I look great as a redhead? Patriot, what the hell, man? I barely have hair as it is. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna shame myself right now. Just give me a second, okay? Look at this. Okay? You see this receding hairline?
I mean, with the rosy tint of the lights, I can imagine it being
Oh, hell
a
no.
ginger hue.
No, I dyed it blonde when I was a teenager. Not even kidding.
Well, early 2000s, right?
Yes, I had
Did you spike it up?
Yes,
Like
I had
a Guy Fieri?
I had just pierced my ears. And
Both of them or just the one? Because one of them makes you gay, I'm told.
both. So left ear is straight, right ear is gay. I made sure to do both
If
ears.
you do both,
You go either way.
you can go either way. There you go.
So I did the half dye. So my dark hair on the bottom of my head stayed dark, and then the top of my hair was like the frosted blonde tips. I've got my my driver's permit somewhere. I'll show you a picture sometime. The worst part was I had gone recently with my mom to her hairdresser appointment, and her hairdresser decided to wax my eyebrows while I was there. And she damn near waxed like half the things off. Then, like a week later, I had to get my permit picture. So I had my waxed eyebrows, my blonde tips. It was frightening.
Oh, we need to see this.
I'll have to find it for you sometime because it's truly terrifying. Anyways,
Yay.
Patriot, thanks for the 2. And no, I would not look great as a redhead. I have some red hair in my beard. That's the only red I have. My mom's a redhead, but that's the only part of the red that I got. Left ear pirate, right ear butt pirate. Or they call that booty bandit.
You are a pirate.
All right, so Moxie, let's get you caught up on some of this Nintendo drama.
Okay.
Because the Switch 2 was announced. Do you own a Nintendo Switch?
I do not.
Have you ever owned a Nintendo at all?
Yes.
Okay. Up to which one?
Wii.
See, I skipped the Wii. I went from GameCube to Switch. I skipped the entire Wii and Wii U generation. I hated it.
The Switch implies that I have time to play things on the go. I don't know.
That is okay.
The handheld.
That is the thing about Nintendo I find annoying because I am not a mobile gamer. Everybody knows I hate mobile games. I hate anything that looks like a mobile game. I do not want to play games on my phone. I don't want to play games on the go. And the Switch is the only Nintendo that they make, so you have to buy that one. And because it's mobile, it doesn't have the processing power of other consoles. So it's kind of like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Nintendo's cool because it has the games that they have, but the hardware sucks. I mean, let's be honest. It does not run games the way... I bought Minecraft for my kids on the Switch. After a month of them playing multiplayer, the damn thing crashed, and they stopped... Like, literally, Nintendo said this game can no longer run as multiplayer, so they took multiplayer away. They did the same thing with Rocket League on the Switch. They did the same thing with a couple other games that I had bought, and then they're like, yeah, you know, that whole split screen thing, you can't do that anymore. Like, they knew the game ran poorly.
That's super sucky when the shift went to like everything's digital. You don't have like hard copies of discs or cartridges or anything anymore. It's like they could just go, nope.
Not just that. These are games that I actually had physical copies of. So Minecraft for the Switch.
Oh, even that?
Because what happened is, even though the game was sold as a multiplayer game, the developer realized we can't actually have any functionality on the Switch as a multiplayer game because it was having so many issues. So I can't remember if Minecraft is the one where they, after I bought it, where they took away multiplayer, or if it's still there but like it's broken. Because my kids legitimately cannot play multiplayer Minecraft on the Switch. It freezes every time. So that being said, Nintendo's got a corner on the market because of what they do. So they announced the Switch 2. They're Nintendo. They announced the Switch 2. And basically, it's going to be $450. So, I've got some things about the $450 price. I have the unpopular opinion that the price doesn't bother me at all.
Wait a second, because I'm going to do a little inflation calculator.
No, don't do that. That pisses people off. You don't want to do that.
Well, no. Okay, so back in 1997, I want to say, I got the Sega Game Gear.
Mm-hmm.
That bitch was $150.
Okay. The first Switch was $350 at launch, I'm pretty sure, and that was 7 years ago. Here, Oblivion, I'm gonna put her YouTube channel in here.
It would be about $300 now.
The one that you're talking about, the Sega thing?
The Sega Game Gear. It took like 6 AA batteries and didn't. Oblivion, it's not how it works, but just like the value of the dollar and how far it went and like all the things. It's like obviously not exact like comparison, but ballparky.
That's why I said nobody likes the inflation argument. So the way I look at it is I got 7 years so far out of this Nintendo Switch. My kids still have games that they play on it, and the Nintendo first party games are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like all the first party like Legend of Zelda, all the Mario games, those all run perfectly fine. They look great, they play great, they're fun games. It's all the third party ports that run like crap on the Nintendo Switch. But that being said, it was like $350 at launch or $300 7 years ago. Got 7 years of enjoyment out of the thing. So for me, I look at it and go, yeah, $450 sucks, but PlayStation's $700. I don't quibble over the price of the Switch itself. The bigger problem I have, and what a lot of people have, is that they're raising the price of their not just physical games, but some of their digital games to $80.
Just because they can?
Because they can.
It's not because it costs more.
No.
Because they can.
It's because they can. Yes. And so what they're doing is there's a $500 edition of the Switch 2 where you get the digital edition of Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart, which is $80 at launch, or $50 with the Switch bundle. So if you get the Switch 2 bundle at launch, it's only $50 for the game, $450 for the console. Hey, 40K Empress. So yeah, I get it. I get why people are upset about the price of the games. And then there's a lot of other bullshit we're going to get into. One of the things, though, that was a big talking point last week that had a lot of people melting down was that Nintendo, it was speculated that the price was because of the tariffs. Everyone's like, oh, Trump made the Nintendo cost more money, right?
Wasn't that already established before the tariffs? Because that just happened.
Yes, but nobody cared. Nobody listened. Everyone's like, you guys are going to look really stupid in a couple days. And then Nintendo came out and actually said, yeah, guys, we haven't considered the tariffs yet. That'll be something we have to look at down the road, right?
So are they giving any indicators that they may increase the price due to the tariffs in the future?
I think that's going to depend on...
While squashing the rumors that the price point has to do with any of the tariffs now.
I think it really depends on how long and to what extent the tariffs take effect. As it is right now, we're going to get into the tariff thing in a minute. I think the only tariff that they're currently leaving in place, because they're putting like a pause on the tariffs, is the one on China, which I believe is 125%. Some crazy number. There are people saying, yeah, up it to 400%. I think the dude off Shark Tank was like saying how we need to put a 400% tariff. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's bold.
10 hours ago, China slaps 84% retaliatory tariff on U.S. goods.
Exactly. So it's kind of a pissing match at this point. China, of course, is the one country, like, I know the European Union and a couple other countries have already kind of backed down and said, like, yeah, okay, well, let's figure out this tariff thing. So that whole Trump art of the deal thing is seemingly going to work on most countries. China, I think, is the one they're going to have the hardest time with if we're looking at it objectively, just due to like that. They know how badly we depend on them as far as like the amount of shit that we buy from them. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. So yeah, Nintendo got a lot of backlash. Everyone was spamming drop the price like in their live streams, everything else. And so the funny thing is that because the Switch 2 is region locked in Japan, it's only going to be like $350 in Japan, like equivalent to US dollars. So basically, this is a situation where Japan is getting the benefit of actually having it made there, whereas we're paying distribution fees. I guess Norway's, it's going to cost like $500 in Norway, or other countries as well, up to $700. So, I mean, that just kind of makes sense with cost of production and distribution and everything else. So here's the funny part. I was totally fine with the price of the Switch 2 up until a point. And recently, I even asked my wife about this yesterday. I'm like, okay, nothing to do with video games, but just as a product. If somebody said this about a product, how would you feel about it? And he actually was quoted as saying, the funny thing is the CEO's name is Doug Bowser. He's legitimately the CEO of, the president of Nintendo of America, and his last name is Bowser. So I don't know how this happened, but it's kind of like, it was meant to be in a way. So here's a quote from him. He says, "As we look at Nintendo Switch 2, and you think about the feature sets that I talked about, we believe the pricing is appropriate for the value of the machine and the gameplay experience overall." So if he had just said that, okay, fine. He thinks the price is fair. He thinks the price is equivalent to the value that their system offers. I can respect that. I was telling somebody else, I kind of don't have pity for people who talk about how expensive the Switch 2 is when they're going to go spend $2,000 on a smartphone that they replace every 2 years without even thinking about it.
So question for you for this. As far as like, is it apples to oranges or is it apple to apples? Because back in the day, let's say Sega handheld console, how many hours worth of entertainment could you get out of those products at the time versus the products that are coming out now, the games that are coming out now? How many hours can you spend going through a game, also increasing its value, right? Because time played, and is that factored into a lot of these conversations?
So it's actually two different things. Time played equaling value. Not everybody believes that. I believe it. I truly believe that you can look at the value of a game in two parts. One, on how much you love it, but two, more so, like Elden Ring, my first playthrough was 140 hours. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I have not beat yet, and I've played over 100 hours on it. Valheim cost me less than $20. I have put 300 hours into that game. So these are games that I look at as I got more than my money's worth due to the fact that regardless of what I spent on them, I clearly enjoyed them, so I spent a large percentage of my time playing them. That doesn't necessarily translate to the older consoles because the difference in price now versus price then was they had a smaller market, there were less people playing video games. You had higher distribution costs because they didn't have to do they had nothing digital. It was all physical. So they had to have instruction booklets, physical shipping. They had to have retail stores that, you could buy the game at. There was just a much higher cost associated with the actual distribution and production of video game cartridges. And there were no day one patches. There was no ability to, have the game taken away from you because it's an online game and then all of a sudden it gets pulled out of your library because they just, don't want to have a server hosted for it anymore. So the equivalent value that they you'll see people pull these Toys R Us or KB Toys ads and say, "Oh, Lion King was $80 on the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo, so stop complaining." But I still have that game in my garage. I could still pop it in and play
plug it in, fire it up, and it's
So
any commentary or questions that I have, by the way, for everyone listening, I know nothing. I'm a total normie, so don't come at me.
Oh no! Don't worry. They'll come
questions.
They'll come at me because that's what she said. I needed to have that video clip ready.
That's what she said.
You are Michael Scott.
Oh, somebody told me that in my last chat. That I was like, yeah, my wife thinks one of my more endearing qualities is I remind her of Michael Scott. So it's definitely that's fair. I've even got
a prison Tebow. Get the headscarf out.
Yeah. Oh, I've got my, it's cringe, I know, but I have my Michael Scott Funko Pops up here. I've got my 5 or 6 from The Office. I have the Santa, the suave Santa Michael Scott, but one of my favorite ones is Kevin with the pot of chili. That's...
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I bought my first Funko Pop recently.
Oh, see, I stopped buying them.
I'm opposed to Funko Pops. And then I was on a stream where part of the game was if you show a Funko Pop, you get yeeted. So I'm like, I need a Funko Pop to get myself out of this jam. So I went with Ferris Bueller.
See, I'm okay with that. Okay, here's the thing. Funko Pops got very cringe very fast. And there are people who are going to say, oh, they were always cringe. I can respect that opinion. I get it. Yes, they're cringe even back when they were not as bad as they are now. But for me, what really killed the fad, the collecting any of them, was when I noticed that every single Marvel show, every single sitcom, every single new whatever that was coming out, they already had a Funko Pop out for it. Like, okay, so I've got the Frasier Funko Pops. I've got my Michael Scotts. I've got, TV shows that when I was a kid that I grew up watching. For me, that's fine. It's nostalgia. I've got a couple, I got my Master Chief up there hanging up with a couple other characters from video games. So whatever, cool. Once they started making Funko Pops for every single TV show, regardless of whether the show was going to have more than one season or not, like when WandaVision came out on Disney Plus, and it's like, oh, get all the WandaVision. I'm like, why? Why would you buy any of those? I don't get it. I get it.
Hoping the addiction has everyone, and that someone somewhere is just going to buy it because it exists. That's it.
See, Remy understands. He says, I could see the beginning at the beginning of the appeal, but then everything became a consumer collectible. Yeah, that's like any other collectible. For a minute, I thought they were cute.
Anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the part where he really stepped into some dog shit, okay? He goes, we recognize that there are some people... Now, again, I got to preface this with, I actually agree with him, but he should never have said this out loud. We recognize there are some people that may not be able to afford the Switch 2's price point. That's why we wanted to make the other Switch platforms available so people still have an opportunity to come into our gaming universe, be a part of those characters in these worlds, and see value, if you will, in whatever rung of the platform they come in. I guess I should have said that. So he's basically saying if you're a brokey, if you're poor, if you can't afford the new one, go back and buy the old one. Now here's the problem with that theory. Just thinking about it quietly in my brain, I go, well, that makes sense. You don't have to make something affordable for everybody because we don't live in like a socialist society. Right. There's tiers to these things. I can't afford a Jaguar. I'm not going to go buy a Cybertruck. Tesla doesn't need to make their Cybertruck affordable to me. But the last thing you want to hear the CEO of Tesla saying is, well, if you're a brokey, go buy a Kia. I know I'm broke.
It sounds bad.
That's why I drive a Kia.
Not the best optics. For
right,
sure.
Right. So I have no problem with businesses treating like customers in this sense, this way, because there's going to be tiers to these things. Obviously, certain people can afford certain things. You don't have to make everything affordable, but you don't say it out loud. And certainly here's the problem with Nintendo. They still charge full price for games that are 7 years old. They do not lower the price.
What?
Okay, so it gets even better. So let me kind of explain the other controversies with the Nintendo Switch 2, because I'm sure you haven't heard most of this yet. So Kia sucks, but Kia is half the price of Toyota. I would drive a Toyota. I would, but Kia cheaper.
Forever.
Kia cheaper. And to be fair, I've had Kias since I started driving, and I've never really had issues with them. So
aesthetically, Kias have come a long way.
They have.
Yeah.
They do have. They do have. I'm retarded. Okay.
They do have. I read good.
Yeah, that's the whole Kevin from The Office thing. Why use many word when few word do trick? So here's the problem with the Nintendo Switch 2. At launch, they talk about all these features, they talk about all these games they're going to have, and then they say, oh yeah, Mario Kart World, the digital version is 80. If you want physical, it's going to be 90. Okay, so that's one strike. Then their controller has a little chat button. So Nintendo has never had voice chat built into any platform, ever. It's just not something they do. You play on computer, you've got a multitude of options available to you. You play on Xbox, you can use Xbox Game Chat. PlayStation has their equivalent. Nintendo's never had that up until the Switch 2. However, after I think May of next year, it goes into a paid-only mode. So you have to pay to use voice chat. There's a little button on your controller. You press that button, and if you're not paying for it, it'll tell you, here, do you want to subscribe? You can log in and pay for this now. Okay? That's 2 strikes. Then there's the other issue where there's actually a game that's basically a tutorial, because they don't give you instruction booklets anymore for any games, right? It's all digital. It's very, very few physical copies. There's a $10 tutorial game that you can purchase that'll teach you how to, use the controller and everything else. Oh, on top of that,
oh no,
it gets worse. It gets worse. On top of that, yeah, the credit card button, exactly. Then there is the fact that they have, so we have the Switch 1 now and the Switch 2. So this is, never mind the fact that the Joy-Cons aren't attached. This is the Switch 1, right? Switch 1. So I have games like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild that I have physical copies of. Okay, so I could pop Breath of the Wild in here, play Breath of the Wild. It costs $60. I got it for free, but that was because a friend had an extra copy. So that being said, if I want to play Breath of the Wild on the Switch 2, I can, but there's a $10 upgrade to make it look better on the Switch 2.
Oh my god.
Now, here's the thing. Not only is there a $10 upgrade to make it look better, but you also can purchase the Switch 2 copy of the Switch 1 game, which is just the Switch 1 game, marketed as a Switch 2 game, with the upgrade pack already paid for, and all the Switch 2 does is emulate it. And Nintendo has been suing people and shutting down emulators for years, where people want to play Nintendo games on their computer. If Nintendo catches you, you get a lawsuit. But on their own system, they're going to allow emulation through Nintendo Switch 2 to run a Nintendo Switch 1 game and sell it as a Switch 2 game.
Oh my goodness. This is stupid.
It's the most gigantic cluster, you know what, in history. It's absolutely insane.
How is this sustainable before people just freaking riot?
Oh,
Like-
and they're charging $50 for a
Oh, no.
480p camera because, again, the built-in camera thing, I guess, is an option that you add on. I can't remember. There's so much to this.
It's like, okay. Do you remember in Crocodile Dundee?
Oh,
Bear with me.
great!
Bear
Oh
with
no,
me.
no, I'm with you
Bear with
already. I
me.
love those movies.
Okay, so he says, "Oh, TV. I saw TV once, and it was I Love Lucy." He's like, "Yeah, that's what I saw." Okay, so what you're describing reminds me of the I Love Lucy episode where the vacuum cleaner salesman comes to her home, throws shit on her carpet, and he's like, "Oh, if you want the works, it's only $25. Oh, if you want the attachments, it's going to be 10, it's going to be 4, it's going to be 5. Oh, you want the extension cord, you want the plug that goes into the wall.
Oh,
You want the
man.
handle, you want the..." And then before you know it, it's like $1,000 piece of equipment in 1954. This is exactly, yeah, I've seen this before. I'm
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee right now. Yeah, this, oh my goodness.
See, when you
No,
said
the
Crocodile
methods don't
Dundee,
change,
my
the products
first
do.
the first thing that pops into my brain for Crocodile Dundee is the scene with the knife and the scene with the chick and the thong. But that's like going way back to when I was I was a boy when that movie came out. So
know.
like, yeah, that's
Certain things stuff.
core memory.
I get
memory.
it.
Okay,
Knife, booty. Got it.
can't help
I
it.
took the long way back to I Love Lucy, but it's just like I've seen this before. Ah, yes, that specific episode. Yes, very much the same tactics have not changed. They just have.
There are so
I
many
guess go with
things
the
like
times.
that too. There really are, and I think honestly, it comes down to like I was saying about the whole cell phone thing. I'm not saying that cell phones should cost $2,000. Like I don't think that the justification should be there. Well, you have to spend $2,000 on a cell phone if you want the top of the line cell phone, so you should have to spend X number of dollars on your Nintendo. I just think electronics as a whole, we treat it as something that we have to have, that's a necessity. And as such, because we've done that, because consumer mentality, basically we're allowing them. I mean, look, okay, so it's not just Nintendo. Nintendo is the most recent one that we can kind of like attack and shit on because they're being really dumb about their PR side of things. But
Yeah.
PlayStation and Xbox, I think Xbox also did this. PlayStation, the PS5, you'd buy a version of the console that couldn't actually play a physical disc, and then you had to buy the optional external disc drive. Okay. Absolutely, yeah, just that kind of bullshit. This has been around for years. It's not a new thing.
Did it come with a power cable, or is that separate?
No,
An
it comes with a
upgrade?
power cable. Comes with a power cable.
Wow, we are moving up. Good grief.
So add into this, people have been saying the tariffs are part of the reason for the cost, and it turns out that's not even a thing. So, but somebody else had this. This was pretty funny. This is something that Xbox actually did back in the day. They were talking about people who didn't either have internet. Guys, help me out in the chat. Was it people who didn't have access to internet, or people who didn't want to use the internet on the Xbox One? Because during the jump from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, they said basically you have to be connected to the internet all the time. I'm pretty sure is what the whole situation was. And so they're like, yeah, fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to stay connected. It's called Xbox 360. It's like, this isn't the first time we've seen this. Nintendo's not doing anything original here. This is something that has been going on for a very long time, unfortunately. And it sucks because it's completely predatory behavior. For people who didn't want to use the internet. Okay, thank you, Desert. Yeah. Access to the internet. All right. Or both, I guess, yeah. So yeah, even people who are, look, this guy's name is Hylian Hero on Twitter. He's a Nintendo fanboy, obviously. He's like, I spent the entire Switch generation ranting about how Switch games never drop in price, only to get pushback. And here's, like I was saying, Nintendo games, there are a couple you'll see on sale from time to time. But if we're talking about Mario, Legend of Zelda, Kirby, Pokemon, those games are still sitting at like $50 or $60 when they launched 7 years ago for some of them. They do not reduce the price. So there are games that they are marketing for the Switch 2 at $70 that are 7-year-old Nintendo Switch games, simply because it's the Nintendo Switch 2 version of a Nintendo Switch 1 game that's as old as 6 or 7 years now.
It's crazy because back in the day, it was like you hold on to because you had physical media, you hold on to it, and then it increases in value because it's harder to find. It becomes a collectible. There was a store in Ventura, adjacent to my hometown, and they had just all kinds of old cartridge games, NES, SNES, um, and those things were marked up like crazy because they were so hard to find. And with the modern era of digitized gaming and all that, it's like there's you own nothing. If
Right.
it goes down, it's gone. There's nothing to collect. There's nothing to appreciate. It's just gone
Well,
at the whim of whoever, or if
and there's also
demise
two
of the
sides to
company.
that. There's two sides to that. So that's why people say buy physical instead of digital. But here's the thing. You remember Concord when that game came out last year, right? The whole controversy around that game Concord.
Yeah.
Okay, so it lasted 2 weeks. There are people who bought physical copies of the game, but because it was a online only game, your physical copy, they allowed them to return it obviously because they closed the game down. But your physical copy had no value because you can't play the game offline because it's online only. So even though there are games that people bought the physical copy of, if the servers get taken offline and it's an online game that you bought a physical copy of, it doesn't do you much good. So again, I think the real issue comes down to this massive amount of internet required gaming that we have these days. I mean, think about it. What happens when Twitter goes down for an hour, right?
Chaos, pandemonium.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, it's
That whole
sunny
fire
outside.
scene, fire drill scene in The Office. That's what happens.
Hang on.
They lose their minds.
I got that one.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
I know you probably can't see it on your end, but it's
can't.
yeah, because you're only
It's
getting
there, I
display
trust you.
capture. You're only getting display capture. But no, it's true. It's like everyone's like, stay effing calm because it's like, oh my God, the sky's falling. What are we gonna do? We don't have Twitter now. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden people remember like, wait, I think I gotta go do something now. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Huh.
So,
Sun's
anyways,
out.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, this guy says,
Anyway.
claiming it's because they hold their value or questioning why I was so obsessed with this issue. Back then, I warned that this would happen, and now it's coming true. Enjoy your overpriced $80 games by staying silent when you should have spoken up. You basically gave them the green light to make prices sky high. And again, the issue, I'm going to bring her back here. It's not you, it's me. Well.
No, it's me.
Oh, it is you. Okay.
It is me.
You're still there. Never mind. I didn't have to do anything.
Still here.
All right.
Ooh.
Spooky. The issue is really that the consumer mindset has led to where we are now. So for example, here you go. This guy, Legendary Drops, big YouTuber, says, after careful consideration and reading feedback, I've changed my mind. Nintendo really is the most generous company. They haven't changed their prices in years. I mean, look at the consistency. Over a decade later, and Super Mario Bros. U is still $60. And that is a digital download game. Absolutely insane.
I mean, do any of these games, because I am a normie, I don't know anything, do they offer any expansions or is it just the same game forever?
Okay,
it change at
so
all?
Mario Kart Deluxe, which is on the Switch, that game had a very reasonable DLC pack where they offered for, it was like, I don't know, it was like 10 or 20 bucks, where they released like 4 new courses a week for like 8 weeks and then added some other stuff. So I mean, there was decent value there. Smash Brothers is the one. Super Smash Brothers is insane because it's a fighting game with about like, I don't know, 80 to 100 characters you can unlock in the game. But then every additional character that they release, you have to purchase like individually, which is, I guess, anywhere from like $3 to $5 per character. And the funny thing is everyone complains about microtransactions from like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft, you know, Call of Duty, because like, oh, everyone has to spend thousands of dollars on skins and CSGO and everything else to look cool and everything else. Nobody ever complains about how Smash Brothers paywalled a buttload of characters. It's the craziest thing. Now, you don't have to have those characters.
Why didn't they pick that one apart?
Because it's Nintendo. Because people, I guess it's funny. I've been a Nintendo fan since I could play video games, like back on the original NES. But I've never felt this need to like shill for the major billion-dollar corporation. But there are people who defend Nintendo like tooth and nail. Can't believe we lost Titanfall for Apex Legends. Oh, by the way, Ryan, we're not getting Titanfall 3. That is a rumor. Unfortunately, Jeff Grubb, who has me blocked on Twitter, he said they were saying Titanfall 3 was going to be an extraction shooter. Thank God it's not, but it's not happening at all. Nobody's actually working on the game. They were like, oh yeah, it could be ready as soon as 2026. No, it's not happening. So rest in peace, Titanfall. Great games. So yeah, here you see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition does not include expansion pass content. So again, if there's like an expansion pass you can purchase, the edition that you get for the Switch 2 doesn't have any of that. And again, Breath of the Wild is a 6-year-old game, as far as I can recall. So it's just insane.
Different world than we grew up in.
Oh my god, it's so crazy. Like you said, those old cartridges have so much value, and it's like I've got NES games, I've got Super Nintendo games, N64, GameCube. I'm sitting on probably thousands of dollars if I wanted to take these all to like a game shop and trade them in or sell them. And every one of them probably still works, except my NES. I had to get rid of that years ago. It stopped working. But it's like I don't.
Just gotta get it the haha, like the.
No, that doesn't work anymore.
Hot
That doesn't
blow,
work.
a hot blow.
I heard a theory one time that those cartridges actually have like a battery life in them. That's why they stopped working. It wasn't like blowing on them that fixed them. I don't know if it's true or not.
No,
I have
I
idea.
believe no. I want to believe. Don't say it ain't so, Tebow.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Ooh, so what was an obscure NES game that wasn't maybe mainstream popular that you really liked? Or were there any?
Oh, well, there was one I can tell you about, but I don't remember the name that I really liked, and my mom wouldn't let us keep it. So, my mom hated video games. She hated video games, still does. Here we are, 30 years later. She still hates them. My kids all are like gamer gods at this point. And there was one that I don't remember the name of because we either borrowed it from a friend or got it from a store and rented it. But it was an original NES game where you beat people up. You have like you're in a gang and you could like steal their food and their money and like go to like diners and stuff and buy food. I thought it was great. I was like 6 or something at the time, right?
The precursor to GTA.
It was like the precursor to GTA. I could not remember the name of it to save my life at this point. I thought it was great. And my mom was like, "Oh my God, what are you guys playing?" I'm like, "I'm 6. I don't know. I don't know where it came from. I'm just playing it. It's fun." Some of my best memories, though, we're talking original NES, the original Final Fantasy, original Legend of Zelda, the first Mario 3. I didn't play Mario 2. Nobody liked Mario 2. Yeah.
I didn't finish Mario 2 until I was in my early to mid 20s. I did not know how it ended, and once I got there, I was so fuming pissed. I was so angry. I hate the whole "it was all a dream" thing in anything.
Wait, no.
I was so mad.
The original
Super
Mario
2?
Oh, no, say I didn't play 2. Oh, you were talking about 2. Sorry.
Yeah, you pull up turnips and you throw them a little like, yeah.
Well, okay, do you know that 2 was not actually a Mario game? You do know that, right?
It better not be.
It wasn't.
I was, thank you.
Bad Street
so
Brawler,
mad.
maybe. I don't know. So Super Mario 2 was a different game that they reskinned as Mario. I guess they had some issues. Either they had like deadline or timeline issues or production problems. And so they reskinned it as a Mario game, which is why it's so different from the other Mario games. And
Well, no, we can just solve that problem because it was all a dream, Tebow.
oh, there you go.
That
Yeah.
makes it all better.
It's
I
like
was so
it's like
mad.
the biggest cop out for any freaking TV show or game or
know.
movie. It's like, oh no, none of this actually happened. Although Link's
Then
Awakening,
why were you invested?
Link's Awakening was
many hours?
fantastic. Link's Awakening was fantastic, and technically he was in the Windfish's dream, but that game was fantastic. There's
Okay,
the one exception.
Exception, fine.
Yeah.
So there are 3 NES games that I played a whole bunch. Zexes was probably my favorite.
Briefly remember that one.
Acid Rain, big alien bad guys. You get a code so you don't lose your spot and you can just like jump back into the game. Love those games, except like unlike other games like Sunset Riders, I don't think you could save your progress.
Wait, was Sunset
you could.
Riders
Or was
also
that
on?
Super NES?
No.
No,
That
it was original.
Oh, because I remember I played the arcade version of that. That's the one that was the cowboys, right?
It was original. Yeah, and the big fat like bad guy, the ginger with the mustache, and he
Yeah.
falls off the second floor, and he's like, "Bury me with my money," but it sounds like "marry me with my money."
That is so funny because I thought Sunset Riders was only an arcade game. I used to go to this Mexican restaurant. I loved playing it, but I thought it was just arcade.
I have it on my PC. I have a whole bunch of NES games on my PC. But Sunset Riders, Zexis, Cruisin' California. I'm saying that's like I basically knew how to
That
drive.
one
by the
sounds
time I was
familiar. So
5.
Sunset Riders came out in 1991. So that would have been. Oh, it says Super Nintendo. Okay.
Okay, Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm not. I'm not going to say anything about age.
I'm an old. I can't remember shit.
I'm almost there. I got 1 year and a few months until I'm 40. So.
And still no gray in the beard.
Oh my God, no!
Look
It's
at
it's
you.
okay. Hang on. I'd go full screen, but I'm afraid it'll kick you out of the server. No, I got all this gray in my beard. I got a patch of gray under here. Ironically, where's my dog at? Irving, come here. Come here. Come here. So, this is my dog that I adopted from my mom because she was going to be a flight attendant, right?
Oh.
He's got white. He's completely black, but he's got white under his chin. And I have this little patch of white under mine. So it's like, okay, it was meant to be. There you go. He's got
You're
this
gonna
little
go for the full like Jack Murphy
Oh my
look
God.
eventually. Throwback.
You know, I just forgot about Jack Murphy, and now you had to bring him back up. Gray
Heartfelt.
hair. Gray. What's wrong with gray hair, Badger? We all get it. Back off. It'd be harder to find color in my beard past all the gray. No, I've got gray in here. Like my mom, she saw me at work, which is weird because she like never works anymore. The other day, and she walks in and she goes, "Wow, you got a lot of gray in your beard." I'm like, if I have a lot of gray, that just means that you're getting old.
I was remarking on the fact you don't have a lot of gray because by the time most gentlemen get into their mid-30s, it takes over. So your little patch under there.
Jack Murphy,
Say
the
golden
U.S.
pony
Army
boy.
guy. No. See, I do have some gray in the side, so I have to be careful to not do the whole Jack Murphy thing. We'll see. I swear he dyed his beard though. I honest to God, there's no way that wasn't dyed. So
Absolutely.
was Jack Murphy in the Army? All I remember is Jack Murphy was. There was a lot about Jack Murphy I want to talk about right
69
now.
for 69.
Yeah,
That's what I remember about Jack
getting
Murphy.
pegged for money. Here's the funniest thing. People, because those of us who spend too much time online know way too much about other people's lives, I
Yeah.
can't, like, at this point now, I have looked at, there are so many influencers on Twitter, on YouTube, that I'm like, can't watch him, can't listen to him, don't respect him, can't stand him. And they're all connected. It's like every freaking one. The whole Eliza Blue thing ruined pretty much all of Tim Pool's, crew for me. Jack Murphy's best buddies with Mike Cernovich. Mike Cernovich is best buddies with the Tates. Tates are best buddies with all these. It's like, basically, you're all a bunch of like freaking pigs, and I can't stand any of you. You know?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I just don't like anybody.
You're accusing me of dyeing my beard?
What? What? Oh no.
Oh hell no. No. My kids are always telling me, "Oh, you should get Just for Men." I'm like, nah, not happening.
Your kids are suggesting it?
Oh, well, my oldest,
You're
you
not
gotta remember, my oldest is 12, and he's very, very close to being a teenager. Like, he's a year away from 13, but my God, he's a teenager. He's my size. He's my size. He is the biggest kid on his baseball team. He's very strong. Everyone expects him to like hit home runs, and then when he strikes out, they're kind of like, what's happening there? You know? Yeah. But no, his feet are now bigger than mine. I had to buy him bigger shoes than me. And he's 12. So, I'm short. I'm short, but I'm not a midget. I'm not tiny. He's just freaking huge. He's gigantic for his age. And so
there's no shame for the short kings.
Yeah, no, but he's got an attitude, and he thinks he's funny. And so then there's the twins, and they're almost 10, and so all three of them just gang up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, back in your days, back in the old times, back when
The
dinosaurs were alive."
Late 20th century.
Pretty much. It's annoying having people think I'm in my 20s. Susano, if I shave, I swear to God, people think I'm in my 20s. No joke. Other than my wrinkly crow's feet I get when I smile once in a while, everyone thinks I'm like...
You still get carded?
Not anymore. Not with this.
Oh, yeah.
With this, no. Never. But if I shave, absolutely it could happen. 100%.
You wouldn't be let in to see the Minecraft movie in most places.
I wouldn't. What you'd have to like hog tie me and drag me in there kicking and screaming to make me watch that movie. You use Just for Men in my lower hairs because I don't want to get the nickname Gray Boy. I have never found gray hair down there. Just throwing that out there.
Have you been looking?
No, but I haven't noticed.
Okay.
No, I never had that. Nobody thought I was in my 40s and my 20s. My oldest brother, he did that. He was one of those awkward teenagers that he grew a full beard at 17. It was the 90s, late 90s. But the weird thing about the 90s, it was very strange. And I know there's like a half generation difference between you and I because technically I'm a millennial. Are you a young Gen X technically? Or based on you? Because
It's weird, right? Because my
yeah,
parents are like actual boomers.
right.
So I have a sister who is Gen X. My brother is the later end of Gen X, but I was raised by the same people that raised them and lived with the Gen Xers, but technically I'm a millennial.
See,
I don't know.
I was raised by boomers with Gen X brothers. Like half my brothers are Gen X, and I grew up with more of a Gen X mentality. So I don't even.
But we had the luxury of being able to adapt better from the analog to the digital space.
That is
than
also
even
true,
our
yes.
siblings.
Yes.
So like there is kind of a muddied water gray area, I think, when it comes. I think the millennial label covers far too many years.
Oh, I hate it.
Especially
I hate
specific to like you and I who have that Gen X boomer connection versus those that were born like 10 years later and they're still millennials. It's like, but
Yeah, and it's not just birth year
bring
either. I
Gen Y
hate
back,
that.
please.
It's all about mentality. So let's
Yeah.
switch topics real quick. I have one thing I want to throw at you because
Rooney.
I imagine with the whole goth Moxie thing, you'd appreciate this. Have you heard about Weezer's bassist?
No.
His wife was shot by the cops and
Oh.
booked for attempted murder.
Wait. The bassist's wife was shot by cops and she was booked for attempted murder?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So it says the wife of Weezer bassist Scott Schreiner was shot and struck by cops and has since been booked for attempted murder, the Post can confirm. The incident went down in LA in the neighborhood of Eagle Rock on Tuesday, April 8th. You can see a picture of her here. One of these two is the one that's the wife. I guess they had a gun in their hand. Cops responded to a request for backup in locating 3 misdemeanor hit-and-run suspects who fled a freeway crash scene and ran into a residential neighborhood at around 3:25. While officers were searching for the suspects, they observed a female who was later identified as Scott's wife, Jillian Schreiner, 51, armed with a handgun outside her residence. Police said they yelled for her to drop the gun numerous times, but she refused. Jillian then pointed the handgun at the officers and they opened fire, according to the press release.
As is tradition.
Right. It says, while the LAPD confirms that the musician's wife was hit by gunfire, TMZ reports she was struck in the shoulder. Cops said Jillian retreated into her residence after being struck, but later came outside with another female identified as the family's babysitter and was taken into custody. I'm so confused by what happened here. Oh, so she's this is her at the firing range. She was like an Uber gun enthusiast, it seems.
But there's no context matters. Like, what led up to it? Why were
they said that there was a 3-car high-speed chase or something, right? And then this. So
ended at her home?
Responded to
or she fled the scene and went to her home.
3 misdemeanor hit-and-run suspects who fled a freeway crash scene and went into the neighborhood, and then they encountered her.
Oh.
So while looking for the hit-and-run suspects, this shit happened. So
was she just at home minding her own business and there's crazy people running around her yard, so she pulls out her firearm?
Maybe, I don't know.
I need more details.
This is California, though, so it's even if she was in the right, there's no way that she's going to be able to defend herself.
You don't point your gun at the cops.
Oh no, that's a situation that no, you never ever do that. That's unless you wanted to get shot, you just don't do that. It said LAPD
by cop, self-deletion by cop, yeah.
Exactly. LAPD also shared that no officers or any of the community members were hurt during the shootout, confirmed that Jillian was not involved in the earlier hit and run. Let's see. KTLA reports that Jillian and the other woman have been released from police custody. Of course, if I pointed my weapon at a cop, I'd be in jail for the next year, pending my trial. But the wife of a celebrity does it, and she's already out. KTLA obtained footage from the 3-car crash that caused the manhunt. They also spoke to eyewitnesses who described watching one of the suspects walk away from the scene. Let's see, it says, I saw a gentleman walking on the shoulder, so my brother and I went over and assumed he was leaving the scene of an accident. So these were unrelated. These were completely unrelated. That is bizarre. Very strange. People are freaks.
Very strange. I love that she's full starfish, though. Great
Oh
job.
yeah, yeah. No, do you remember that?
Well, I mean, maybe it's one of those situations where like she does have people running through her yard, and it is Los Angeles, so she's like, "Pull out my gun," and then the cops roll up, and she's like stressed or high intensity in situation, and she doesn't know who she's firing.
I mean, they were like, you know, they were actually uniformed police officers, though. There's no reason that you should have to be like, oh, I don't know. It's not like they're undercover. It's like some guy in a hoodie and sweatpants runs up and pulls a gun on you. I mean, I'd probably shoot in that situation, but.
Well, so the ones that ran away from the hit and run were running into her neighborhood, though, is all I'm saying.
Sure, but they didn't say that
So-
there was any interaction, so it doesn't make any sense why she would be out there with her gun in the first place.
So why would they even mention it?
I don't know. Because that's what took them there, I guess. But
I need more information.
I just saw that. I'm like, I just wanted to bring that up because it's just so weird. Let's talk
Super
about
weird.
this thing. Have you? Because again, don't think poorly of me because you're a woman, and I go, okay, because you're a woman, you want to talk about this crap. But I figure, politics, crime, celebrities, that'd be right up your alley. So
True crime, 90 Day Fiance, wine, yes.
have you been
I
paying
am
attention
demographic.
to any of the Blake Lively stuff?
Oh no, I have not been any sort of interested in any of that except for like some of the Ryan Reynolds bit early on.
Sure.
But there's been so much going on with that story that I think everyone sucks personally.
That's kind of where I've come to the conclusion of, for me personally, I think the entire thing only happened because Blake Lively and what's his name? Baldoni, thank you. Yeah, Baldoni and her have some sort of thing going on, and so they were trying to cover it up by like the lawsuit, like she's suing him or whatever for supposed harassment on the set and shit, and it's like, this is why I just don't watch movies anymore. Like, I saw that freaking Oscar Isaac was going to be the voice of Jesus in that King of Kings movie, and I'm like, really? Of all the people?
No, thank you.
And that dude's just so gross. I'm like, I get it, actors do roles. You don't have to be like fit the role to do the role, but like, ew, why him? So,
but yeah, I haven't watched anything that Blake Lively's been in, and I think the only thing that I've seen Justin Baldoni in is Jane the Virgin, which that was a long time ago, and I liked him in that, but I have not followed either of them, and I couldn't care less about them.
all right, well, that was one that I thought if you had any interest in it, we could talk about it, because there is the lawsuit and stuff, but I know that it's gotten to be a little much, a little stale at this point.
I wouldn't even say if it's just stale. It's just been so over talked about, and there's so much to get into. Like, even if I were interested, I think I couldn't even catch up with all of the drama and the lore at this point. There's documentaries on like Max or TLC, and it's like I don't care enough. Like, I would rather go back and catch up on The Simpsons, which I never watched, from episode 1 than choose to deep dive into the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni situation.
This is a situation that I have never covered on my second channel for that very reason, because my wife was telling me multiple times, oh, you should talk about this. People actually care about this, and it's drama and people like it. I'm like, I get that, but I'm so far behind on the entire saga.
Yeah.
I feel like I could never catch up.
Same.
And the more like the layers get pulled back, the more I just kind of realize everybody in Hollywood sucks. Yes. And at the end of the day, it's like, I just want these two people to destroy each other. And the one thing, like you were saying, that I found interesting out of the entire thing is how so many people know that Ryan Reynolds is a complete ass, and yet it's just now finally coming out after all this time, right? It's like, why did nobody ever say anything before? Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know. I think Ryan Reynolds was never a favorite of mine until probably with all the popularity of the Deadpool character. Like, he wasn't a favorite actor of mine. I think that the popularity with that specific movie transformed the perception of him. Because I remember the movie Waiting, where he was a waiter at a diner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ass. There was no sex appeal about him. The comedy was dry. I did not like that movie.
See, I thought the movie was funny, but I hated his character.
Yeah, so there was no just inherent love for him until, the Deadpool reimagining or
It kind of revitalized
Imagine
his
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, it revitalized his career, right? Hey, Patriot, you get some sleep, buddy. Yeah, no, honestly, personally, for me, I was never a fan of Ryan Reynolds. I liked some of his movies. Like, I thought Waiting was funny. I didn't like his character that much, but whatever. Ryan Reynolds is a lot like, in one respect, Will Ferrell, Ben Stiller, a lot of guys who just play
Dane Cook.
themselves. Dane Cook,
Like
Chris Pratt. And you
Pratt.
can like Chris Pratt all you want, but he plays the same character in every movie he's in. So it's like, at some point, I want to see something original, and none of these guys do anything original. It's all the same character over and over and over again. Hey, Sonia.
I mean, when I really like an actor, I like to see their ability to reach me beyond just the surface level, as far as like convincingly become a character, and the depth of character and the range of emotion and all the things that they're supposed to help make you feel. Yeah, I mean, if it's one note, it's like, okay, back to Crocodile Dundee. I've seen it before.
Right.
I saw that.
Actually, Lucia, you're right about that. Ryan Reynolds on the Detective Pikachu movie was really good. He was good on that.
Did I see that movie?
It's the one that has...
I think I did.
Is it Will Smith's son in that movie?
Ew.
Before he got really weird. It was no, it's not Will Smith's son. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's I think he's a half black actor. He was a kid at that time. He's been in some other movies since then.
Detective Pikachu, 2019.
Trying to think what that actor, that kid's name is, but
Justice Smith.
Oh, that is okay. Well, he was good in that one, so and that was cute. I like that one, but again, it just depends.
It was cute.
Yeah, I've seen like almost the entire movie in 3 different sittings. My kids would always have it on. I walk in the room, it's like, oh, I've seen that part. Oh, I haven't seen that part. Okay. In other words, they're paid jesters or liars. Well, I mean, that's just actors. I mean, let's be fair. I back when I was playing like that game Caesar, back on the old like Windows. God, I can't remember what version of Windows we had at that point, 95 or whatever. I was reading the instruction book, and you have to do your city properly. You have to plan it out so you don't have the wrong people next to each other, because not everybody gets along. And back then, it's like, well, nobody wanted to be next to the actors because they're all weirdos and liars. And it's like, well. Things haven't changed much in a few thousand years, you know? Yeah. Oh my god. So, let me see. Hey, let me know when you need to be done, okay? Because I don't want to keep you too late.
We got about 15 more minutes, but actually, I need a brief little intermission.
Yeah, you go. All right. Let me catch up on the chat here. You don't expect him to have a great character as such. Well, here's the thing. I mean, like I've said before, I'll say it again. I was happier back in the day when you didn't know everybody's politics. You assumed most actors were Democrats, and you just kind of left it at that. You didn't necessarily have to hear their opinions on everything. But then it became popular again for like people to be right wing, and so now it's been so vocal, like left wing, that we're having a surge of right wing voices in entertainment. And the downside is we're never going to get back to a place where we don't know anybody's politics. When it comes to entertainment, at this point now, we're pretty much screwed. We're going to know everybody's politics until the end of time. And it's just unfortunate that that's always going to be part of the conversation is, oh, well, Mel Gibson, he's one of those dirty Trump supporters, or, Sylvester Stallone. Hey, Bourbon, you don't have to bark. I'll get him. My cat's trying to open the cupboards in the kitchen, and they're banging, and the dog hears it, so he's going to go bark at him. Bourbon. You don't have to bark, buddy. Seeing my name highlighted so much feels important. Hey, you should feel important, man. That's the thing, is the producers who want a specific person to play a role. Some actors are prolific for being villains or anti-heroes. That's why you always see them in those roles. I mean, that's true, Emperor. The thing is, I'm not complaining about people being good at a type of role. For example, Alan Rickman, he was fantastic in practically every role he ever had. Alan Rickman, one of the greatest actors of all time. But he was very, very good as a villain, which is why his role, and this is from somebody who didn't grow up reading the Harry Potter books or watching the Harry Potter movies. I recently, in the last year, have seen all the Harry Potter movies. Well, everything but like the first half of the first one. Snape is my favorite character by far in the entire series. And it's because Alan Rickman plays that conflicted anti-hero, double agent villain character so well. So yeah, I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if I don't say that, obviously you want to cast the best person for a role, but you also want to cast somebody who's convincing in that role. I look at so many actors like Chris Pratt, Will Ferrell, these guys who always play the same character, and it gets to be a bit annoying. I did not watch the new Get Naked Gun trailer. My wife watched it. She said it looked good. She said it looked funny. I don't know. I have a hard time imagining Liam Neeson playing like the goofball, stumbling, like bumbling idiot. Liam Neeson has been like that action hero for so long. I've got a hard time with that. Have you seen the trailer for that? The new Naked Gun?
The trailer's funny. It's a throwback to a different time. Ridiculous humor that you just don't even question it. It's just fun.
Right. Oh yeah, Jack Black. Jack Black
I don't
only
want to
plays
see any
himself.
more trailers from it. It's enough to want to go see it. Just
he did pretty much always play the same character as what I've seen, except that part in Die Hard where he pretends to be an American. Oh yeah, you mean where he goes from Hans Gruber to the whole "Oh man, don't kill me, man"? Yeah, he's a British guy pretending to be German in the movie, pretending to be American for that scene. Not easy. Alan Rickman had skills,
not
man.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like him as
Ethnic
Snape?
Inception.
Until I watched the movies with the original English voices. Our localized version just butchered the character. They have 2 versions of Harry Potter? What?
I mean, there's an extended edition, and they did change the name for the UK release versus the American release. Like the Philosopher's Stone is what it was in UK, and then the American version, it was the Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay. I get it. Hang on. Avernum's not in the US. I'm like, what? Okay, I'm like, there was a American version and a British version? No. He's talking about like the I think German dub is, I think Avernum's in Germany versus the English. That's what he's talking about. I'm like, wait, what? I don't remember much of the Naked Gun. If I've seen it, it's yeah.
It's been a long time. I was probably about 9 the last time I saw a Naked Gun movie.
Exactly. No, Avernum, I got you, dude. I just forgot for a minute. I was telling my kids, because it's really funny, our Discord server, I've got like 10 or 12 different countries represented in there, and there's not that many people in there, but it's like we're all over the place, so it's hard to keep track of who's where at all times. Let me see. So one more thing we can talk about real quick before we kind of wrap things up later. Not that I really feel like giving him any more airtime, because I think Mr. Beast is so freaking annoying.
Oh no.
Okay, so we got the Trump tariffs, right? And we don't know how that's going to shake out. We don't know really what's going on with this, but things are trending in the right direction, I'd say. Based on the economy, based on the stock market, based on the way things are currently looking, it seems like as long as we don't end up in some sort of trade war or China and us tariffing each other to death, it seems like things should work out just fine. But apparently there was this story that the New York Post ran that apparently Mr. Beast attacks Trump's brutal tariffs, claims it'll be way cheaper to make his feastable chocolate bars overseas. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg here, because Mr. Beast is a whole nother topic with his weirdo, creepy buddy that transitioned, the alleged abuse that happened on the set of the Amazon show. Hang on, I gotta refresh my camera. Hiring the alleged pedo or, you know, whatever that they had on the set, all these things, right? On top of this, now Mr. Beast is getting criticized for building a hospital in Ghana, which you would think is a great charitable thing to do, right? People have attacked Mr. Beast for a long time. Well, one of the things I will say is he goes and he cures the blind, and he cures people who can't walk or can't, you know, talk or whatever. And he does this for YouTube.
Them clean water.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, these are all things that should be well and good and should be, you know, respected. But a lot of people are curious about what exactly he's doing here. So it says American YouTuber and philanthropist Jimmy Donaldson, known as Mr. Beast, has responded to criticism from an American over his decision to fund the construction of a surgical facility in the central region of Ghana to aid in the medical treatment for children. The facility, built in partnership with an NGO, Ghana Make a Difference, aims to provide surgical and medical care to children formerly trafficked in Ghana's fishing industry and need proper health care. In a video shared on April 6th, he announced the completion of the state-of-the-art surgical center with the GMAD compound, stating his decision was necessitated by desperate need of medical care for children in the organization's shelter.
What about the children?
Again, at surface value, I have no surface level. I have no issue with this, right?
Of course.
Says there were extremely long wait times at the nearest hospitals, and children in the GMAD program were struggling to access medical treatment. It's part of his broader mission to fight child slavery and child labor in Africa. Okay. So it is funny, though, because he does get criticized for like his Feastable chocolate bars because he has them. It's like the world's shittiest chocolate. And he pushes a lot of products that are not good for kids. And then, of course, he has all this controversy about like on the set stuff and claims of abuse and everything else. People are questioning what the conspiracy theory is behind this surgical facility, right? So you got people like Ian Carroll coming out here saying, okay, Mr. Beast is opening a surgical facility for rescued kids in Ghana. Drop your best tinfoil here. What's he actually doing? So the reply is...
Is it a general hospital, or what kind of hospital is it?
It's a surgical hospital. It's for kids from the fishing industry.
I wonder why. Thinking face.
Lugia says, why Mr. Beast doesn't build a hospital in China? I wonder why. That's a good question. I mean, here's the thing with, thanks to the 5, Lugia, with the recent like exposure to China that iShowSpeed, that guy has been doing, you would think that they'd want to partner with Mr. Beast, but it's really weird. So it's a surgical center for kids that were rescued from the fishing industry, probably have like limbs torn off and fingers missing and all sorts of stuff. So the replies are really weird. This guy says it's not a theory. They all do the same thing. He's identifying at-risk youth to human traffic. Similar to the CPS or Name Your NGO. Their public face is always charity. Private face is always the P word stuff and organ trafficking, slave labor, insurance benefits, scams, etc. You've got this one here that says, did you know Mr. Beast's mom, Lieutenant Colonel Sue Donaldson, served in the Army with distinction for 21 years as a commander of the 9th Military Police Detachment, warden of an Army prison in Mannheim, Germany. Apparently there's like a whole deep dive on his mom. To unpack one of the secrets of Lieutenant Colonel Sue's service, we can look to court-martialed Army death row inmate Sergeant Hassan Akbar, who killed 2 of his compatriots, wounded 14 more at Camp PA in Kuwait, an unfriendly fire. Like, there's this whole thing, I guess she was connected to a lot of shit. Pentagon approved funds for Mr. B. Yeah, it's like everything has a conspiracy. Everything's got a rabbit hole. And a lot of people...
His mom has all these connections. Is she associated with Mr. Beast, his current projects?
She technically... the thing about that is, the reason I bring it up, is back when a lot of this shit first started, he claims that when they hired the guy that was known as Delaware, he quote unquote went by the code name Delaware on the set, allegedly because he couldn't go back to Delaware because of his sex crimes. But they said that story wasn't real. They said, oh no, that's not why we called him Delaware. That wasn't true, whatever. At that point, he claims that his mom was actually... I believe the one that was the CEO of Mr. Beast's business at the time. I cannot recall because he was really young at the time. He's not that old at this point now. And so there was at one point when he first started his YouTube channel where his mom, I do believe, was the CEO of his channel. So I don't know. It gets really weird. There's a lot of this weird shit. And it just makes me wonder, it's like, how much of this about these people is fake? How much of it is just them doing something disgusting behind the scenes that we just are never going to know about? Goes back to like the whole adrenochrome thing, politicians, Hollywood.
I mean, I do believe there's something to all of that, but at the same time, I'm not going to take somebody's personal deep dive and say this is fact either.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, that's a good way to get sued. That's like that YouTuber who alleged that guy got somebody else killed and he just lost in court for like $200,000 or some shit like that. Like, not smart. Not smart. Let me see here. Yeah, Top Lobster says, dog, this is not good. Translation, the beast opens up child trafficking operation in poor unmonitored country. See, I don't even know. I would say that this is much more of a situation where it's not what it looks like, but it's not this nefarious. But I get why a lot of people are critical of Mr. Beast. I've said before, I'll say it again. When I've seen him in like interviews, when I've seen pictures of him, the man looks dead inside. He looks completely lifeless. His eyes have no life to him. It's very strange.
And the smile is very creepy. The smile doesn't really match the eyes either, you know?
You mean this smile right here? It's all teeth. There's no smile. It's I don't know what it is. Maybe he smiled too much.
I don't know, or maybe it's just autism. I don't know. Like legit, because like when my kiddo, I'm like smile, and I was like trying to teach her to like smile. She's like really struggling to like do a smile. 'Cause she's like, I'm doing it right. Like
I
I'm
have a
doing the
niece
thing.
who I suspect is on the spectrum, and she always did that when I would see her. She was very odd. Um, couldn't regulate
Oh,
her emotions very well, and so yeah, her smiles would be very teethy, not very like happy. So
because they see, oh, this is how you convey an emotion.
right,
I'm doing
exactly.
it.
They're trying to mimic it. It's not exactly happening naturally.
I don't know. I don't know if that's his particular issue. It could be, but yeah, the eyes and the smile don't typically match. But I mean, you can't see his lifeless eyeballs in this picture, but
No, no, but they're there. Anyone remember the Mr.
they're
Beast
there.
Discord leak? Yeah, the whole Discord thing was crazy too,
Hmm.
because all that information that came out was basically like everybody was aware that there was a bunch of shit going on and being talked about behind the scenes, but nobody really tried to rein it in. And that all, dude, that just disappeared so fast. Because what happened was that
Oh,
YouTuber put out those videos about it. A few of the things he said got debunked, and all of a sudden they all went away.
yeah. Also, we did our own internal investigation and we found out there's no problem. Totally cool, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for bringing it to our attention. We got it covered.
that
We're
was
solid.
actually, I mean, that's truly what they did, right? They hired that
Yeah.
that lawyer to investigate themselves, but it was like was it someone they already had on retainer? What was the story with
Something
that?
like that. It was already it was somebody basically already on the payroll, like like contracted or something. It's like, yes, it's like the government investigating themselves, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
pre-Doge, but but yeah, the government.
I
Yep,
mean,
we looked into it.
the
We
government needs to
audited
investigate
ourselves.
itself because I want the IRS shut down. I want income
Oh yeah.
tax gone. Head of IRS resigns in protest as agency inks deal to share tax data on illegal immigrants with DHS. Think about like how guilty as hell you look when you do this. You don't like the fact that you have to share tax data on illegal immigrants with DHS, and so you resign in protest. Yeah.
In protest, Tebow. In
This is
protest,
the
not
stuff that
oh
makes
shit.
me. This is the stuff that makes me go full anarchist, and I'm not an anarchist. I'm a small L libertarian because I think libertarians are kind of retarded. But I say that in love. I say that in the nicest way possible because I understand the idea of libertarianism. I just don't think it works. But so I consider myself like a small L libertarian. But this is the shit that makes me go like full anarchist mode.
Yeah. Mentally, I am in a space of libertarian plus. However, I understand that practically it's not feasible
Yeah.
for most cases.
Yep.
Small groups and small communities, great. Yes, go full anarchist. I think it could work. Large scale with the different types of people and the diversity that we have, I don't think it would work.
Yeah, I was going to bring up, I wanted to have more news topics to talk about because we had that whole thing with that stabbing that happened last week with that track meets. And basically,
Ooh.
that entire thing has turned into if you're white, you think he's guilty. And if you're black, you think he's innocent. Which is so crazy because it's got like OJ Simpson vibes all over it, all over again, because it's going to be completely split on racial lines. And I'm even seeing people who are like right wing influencers who are black who are like, oh, well, you guys wouldn't say this if he was white. It's like, no, I would. I see plenty of these videos online, these F around and find out videos where people think it's funny. I'm like, unless somebody's trying to kill you or cause you serious harm, I don't think there's ever a reason to throw somebody's head on the sidewalk. Even if they antagonize you, I don't look at those videos and go, "Oh, that's great, that's fun. Yeah, that guy got what he deserved." I don't enjoy that, you know. So no, I wouldn't say that somebody effed around and found out in that situation. No, the Austin Metcalf kid shouldn't have put his hands on the other guy. But it's like, did it warrant him getting stabbed? No, not even close.
Has it been confirmed that he put hands on him? Because his brother had said he picked up his backpack and said, "You need to go."
Right. So let me do this before we wrap up here. This is what I really should have had to talk about because this is a much more interesting thing to dissect here. Let me see if they have it broken down to where there's actually like the witness reports here because they now have like multiple eyewitness confirmations where the story coincides, right?
Okay.
So what happened essentially was in some form or another. Let me see here. Let me see if any of these guys have the. I know it's on Twitter.
I think more than just the specifics of what had happened, the response to me has been more disgusting. In that, and I shared screen there. But you have accounts going, white boy had it coming, who's next? Whites can't touch as blacks anymore. When it's on equal footing, they're powerless. Then you have a video of a black woman saying he got what he deserved. So there's this whole like, it's not just two boys, it's the racial, it's been stoked so hard, and it's just creating more tension and more, honestly, more racism against
Oh yeah,
black people
that
with
was
the
terrible.
response these idiots on the internet talking about how he had it coming. It's like, also the donations that this kid's GoFundMe is getting, the goal being 50,000, 100,000, now it's 200,000, and he's just the family, obviously not him, the family's getting
So
all this money
here's
to support
Austin
him.
Metcalf's current
Yeah.
GoFundMe. It's at 315,000, which is pretty good. Let's see in real time, because I know that GoFundMe took down, what's his name? Carmelo Anthony.
They did?
Yeah, so GoFundMe took it down, but Give, Send, Go is allowing it to stay up. So this is the really weird thing. Give, Send, Go, which is an alternative, I don't want to call Give, Send, Go right-wing, because it's not. It's
typically been associated with conservatives and right
sure.
wing, and
It's for people who have been disenfranchised from other means of fundraising. So it's all the way up to $300,000.
wow.
Yeah, they adjusted the goal. It was like 100,000, then it went to 200,000. So once it broke 3, they bumped it up to 350. Right? Absolutely insane.
Well, we got that amount. Let's see how much more we can get. Why limit ourselves?
They're saying it's for his defense fund, but again, I don't even understand how that's possible, because like how your lawyer is not going to cost $300,000, not unless you go and get some like Hollywood attorney, right? Even then, it wouldn't cost you $300,000.
I don't know.
Here we go. This is what I was looking for.
You get Casey Anthony's attorney. He like,
Dude, that whole Casey Anthony thing was so weird when she tried to come back into the spotlight. That was so beyond.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I feel like it was a lifetime ago. And it's like all of a sudden she came back to TikTok and she's like, oh no, I'm a gay advocate and I'm going to be here for you guys, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, and then she disappeared.
She'll come back with something else. She can't stay away.
All right, this might have what I'm talking about, because here's
Police report?
the witness accounts from the arrest report, and every one of them coincides. From this one here, this is one officer says, Austin told Anthony that he needed to move out from under the team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, touch me and see what happens. Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what one of the witnesses recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest, then ran away. Another report here says, I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers, then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, the school there, that he had to leave the tent. So the tents were set up, for the different schools to, have, I guess it was raining or whatnot. And so that way your school could kind of wait under the tent for the rain to stop. And so he went into a different school's tent, which is really weird. Like, even that's not a crime. It's not even like a attempt at violence, but it's like, okay, dude, well, your school's over there. Go over there. It's not even that big of a deal.
Sure.
Austin told the victim, he told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. So that one says he pushed him. That one then says he touched him. And said during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag that he had. It was at this time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. Next one here says, this is Austin when the guy actually found him with I guess it was the security guard on staff. Austin said, I was protecting myself. He put his hands on me. When they said that he was the alleged suspect, he says, I'm not alleged, I did it. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. Asked if he was going to be okay. Basically, all the freaking reports coincide with the story that this dude went into the wrong tent, goaded the guy into trying to physically remove him, And then once the kid tried to physically remove him, he stabbed him. I said this before and I'll say it again. Kyle Rittenhouse, if he was my kid, I would have kicked the shit out of him. 17-year-old going to a protest with a gun? No. Your ass is going to be at home. Your ass is going to be at home. You're not involving yourself in that. Was he justified in defending himself? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
But the kid's going to a track meet. It's not really a Kyle Rittenhouse situation though, because it's like.
But they're trying to compare it to Kyle Rittenhouse.
The
people that are saying you're a hypocrite if you see this differently are trying to say that the black kid was essentially Kyle Rittenhouse in this situation.
So the black kid was in fear for his life to the point where he had to plunge a knife into the chest of the other dude.
This is the part
being
where
just a shitty teenager.
This is the part where the racial component comes in, because unfortunately people are only seeing color and they're not comparing apples to apples. Kyle Rittenhouse had a guy try to beat him with a skateboard. Another guy pulled a pistol on him. White guy. All white guys, as far as I remember. All white guys. 2 of them criminals. So
yes, one's a pedo.
Yeah, exactly. They tried to physically kill him, knock him out, beat him, whatever. Again, Austin Metcalf shouldn't have put his hands on another student. They should have
pointed a firearm at Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Before Kyle Rittenhouse had the trigger safety and all the things, handled himself perfectly to fire back on him.
Exactly.
The guy was called out in court. Are you pointing your gun at him? Yes. Okay, what are we doing here?
You can see hourly as much as $2K. $2,000 an hour for some of these attorneys? Are you serious, Emperor?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, if they do that, that $300,000 is going to go away real fast. Do I only host women with red hair? No, but she's also only the second woman I've had on my channel. So.
Second to Leon? Or is there another?
No, 40K Empress, who was here, she was the first. She was actually the first one I had on my channel. And guys, I'm going to be on Moxie's stream next Monday. So next Monday, I have no stream. So I'm taking that night off. I'll be on her channel. And I'm actually going to not stream on Friday, because Friday night I'm going to join Leon at 10 on his channel. So then I'm probably going to stream on my own channel on Saturday. I'm so confused right now. This is so messed up. What am I talking about? Rittenhouse was there to visit his father? Oh, no, I'm not talking about why he was anywhere near the riot. I'm saying going down to the protest. Again, going down to the protest, 17 years old, knowing that these guys were going to get violent. See, this is not my fault. This is you. You did it.
That's an Elgato issue. We struggle bust through this every stream practically. I'm surprised it held out this long, to be honest.
That's what she said. Yeah, no. So again, this isn't evidence. This is just eyewitness testimony or eyewitness statements, not testimony yet, because there's no court case. Mm-hmm. But again, people are treating this as if we're looking at the same kind of situation, self-defense. And again, self-defense comes down to reasonable reaction to what is perceived as a reasonable threat. A kid pushing you is not perceived as like, oh, well, you're in fear for your life, right? That's the entire thing. You have to make a compelling argument that you were in fear for your life, and then you have to justify why you had the knife at a track meet in the first place.
Why was that allowed? Why weren't they searched? Or...
Well, technically, it wouldn't have been if it's a school. I mean, it's a school-sanctioned function. If that's the case, then there shouldn't have been any knives allowed. And I'm somebody, I take my gun everywhere I go. It's like, even places that they say you're technically not supposed to. It's like, well, if there's no metal detector, odds are I'm armed. But of course, I'm not going to go try to hurt somebody. So she started an addiction to redheads. It's not about the hair color, guys.
Called out.
Yeah, now it's going to get weird because my mom's a redhead.
Oh, no.
Trust me, my mom's one of a kind. Doesn't meet the standards in Denver.
Dr. Freud has entered the chat.
Not like that. Oh God. Oh God. Well, I did recently dye my wife's hair red.
With my mother.
But
oh no, you dyed your wife's hair red?
Yeah, I dye my wife's hair. I'm actually really good at it. I joke about how I should go be a hairdresser, but I don't cut women's hair. I can dye hair. That's about it. That's the extent of my talent. You're judging me now, aren't you?
I am not judging
You're
you.
judging me.
I'm
You're like,
not.
these are things
No,
I
I
had
would
no idea
never.
about.
I would never.
Are we lore building? Yeah, we're lore building.
Yes.
I
It's
cut
an
my own
educational
hair.
program.
I cut my own hair because I'm not paying somebody else to screw up my hair. I can dye hair. Let's see. I don't really have that much weird shit in my closet. I really don't. I'm really boring, I swear. There's
That much.
when will I dye my beard red? I'm never dyeing my beard. Do you guys know there's that account, that YouTuber, he's like this left-wing lunatic. All he does is react to like right-wing content. His name is Rick, like AIR Rick. And once in a while, I'll see his shit on Twitter. Somebody will share a video. The dude changes the color of his beard like once a month. 1 month, like I'll see a video, he's got a green beard, and then it's pink, and then it's blue. He's like this fat, bald guy. He's probably like in his 50s. And he keeps dyeing his beard. I'm like, no, not happening. Should work at a beauty salon? No. In before he has a fursuit in his closet.
I want to get a full-size Pikachu costume. I do.
Oh my god.
That's as close to furry as I'm gonna get.
But hang on. Is that like a fetish thing, or is that just like just to have
Oh
it?
no.
Okay.
Funny.
Okay,
Funny.
well, that's
and do,
fine.
Like the whole dance and like the like.
Yeah,
the
that's
whole-
fine.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I do have. You guys want some lore? I've got one that I will share with you guys real quick. I have dressed in drag multiple times, but we're not talking drag like drag queen. I'm talking like Halloween. I've gone knee-high boots, pantyhose, wig, full makeup, padded bra, the entire thing. I've done it a
So
couple
as a
times.
prostitute.
Yes.
Oh,
And bet 16 years ago, went to my church's Halloween function dressed like that. The pastor, now mind you, I was helping with Sunday school at this point with 3-year-olds.
Children.
And I show up to church on Halloween for their Halloween event looking like that with my, at that time, girlfriend. We weren't engaged yet. And the pastor walked right up to me, put his arm around my shoulder and said, "We're going to need to talk tomorrow." We never had to have that conversation, but the weirdest part was all the guys that I knew telling me how nice my legs looked in pantyhose.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was the strangest
truth
part.
Came out.
That was the strangest part.
You're gay. You're gay. You're
I know, right? I'm like, I'm doing this as a joke. You guys are creeping me out here.
Like,
There
I
really
wasn't
are no streamers I can watch.
fishing for
John,
compliments.
John, I don't do this regularly. It's happened one time when I was a teenager. I let a girl after work put makeup on me because I thought it was cool. I was getting attention from girls, so I just let them do it. I would do anything back in the day for attention from girls. I didn't care. It was attention was attention, right?
You know, back in our day, we were allowed to have the powder puff football game matches, and all the football boys got dressed up in wigs and fake boobies, and they were the cheerleaders. And
Yeah, it was just
It was a
funny. It was
thing
just
back
for
then.
fun.
Now, though, and if your dude friends are complimenting your legs, did you shave?
No.
Okay.
None of that. No, I had the hair poking through the pantyhose, the fishnets.
And they liked it.
It
You
was
know, like
dark.
Mrs. Doubtfire, the bus driver. So God made you.
Oh my god, maybe I had that like I watched that movie when I was too young. Maybe that's what that was. No, I thought it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. Everyone else thought it was pretty funny. Again, it was something I did like once or twice for Halloween. That was it. But
You said
yeah,
multiple times.
yeah. So previous, but I didn't go anywhere for Halloween. So it was like 5 years previous. I dressed up as like some gal I knew. So we borrowed like each other's clothes and dressed up as the other person. So it wasn't really like full on in drag. This was when I went to church looking like that. I had the knee-high hooker boots, yeah. I went all out.
And then the pastor said we're gonna have to have a talk.
Yes. All right, well that
I'm gonna
being
have to pray
said,
that away.
yeah, no, I'm gonna find that picture too. I'll let you see what I looked like at some point. I have a hard copy of
Yay.
it somewhere. I'm gonna let you get some sleep because I think I've given everyone too much information about myself at this point.
Did a lot of sharing tonight on TiVo's channel, minimal.
That's what
Live.
happens when you don't prep for a stream. You end up with a bunch of random shit nobody wants to talk about. You end up divulging way too much information about yourself, dealing with technical
Indeed.
difficulties, having your guest's microphone at half the volume, and then blaming them for not knowing how to turn it up.
Vice Vice Baby, welcome to Minimalist.
Thanks, Vice Baby. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Vice Baby is Legal Vice's son.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah.
That is so
Thanks
cool.
for showing up, Vice Baby. It's good to see you.
Dude, that was so awesome when Legal Vices hit 100K.
Thank you very much, sir.
That was very
know.
cool.
You're a gentleman and a
Yep,
scholar.
Vice Baby has the play button now, and
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it,
he's
Vice.
beautiful.
All right, well, I'm going
Love the
to, although
crossover between Nerddom and LawTube and all the things that got us here, it's just
we have to thank Nick Ricada
Please.
for that. Nick Ricada is really
Oh.
like the thing that did it. Because honestly, I found you through Nick Ricada. Guys, if you don't already follow Moxie, she's almost at 2,000 subs. Go follow her right now. Well, I mean, it's not even like it's your fault that it's taken you to this long to get there. You're not, you're pretty busy. So
I'm pretty busy and I'm not consistent with my content. Like a lot of you guys like do the similar type of content. I'm a variety show. It's just me.
oh
So
my
it's
god, don't I
fine.
know it? I was complaining the other day about the fact that it's like I can't even watch YouTube anymore. It's not. There are YouTubers that I still watch. Like I still watch Leon's stuff, Kilted Cajun. Mr. Hardcore Mode is the second guest I had on. He's more of a streamer, but he makes YouTube reaction content too. 40K Empress covers a lot of the Warhammer stuff. So there's people that do unique stuff and people that are in the same sphere that I really enjoy their content. But then there's just like, oh god, like it's like content like the quartering, you know, where it's like the same thing, 5 videos a day. It's all the same slop, and it gets to be it's like, okay, if I'm going to talk about
Burnout.
one of these 5 topics, I don't want to watch somebody else talk about it first. And then there's people like I love Lotus Eaters, like Carl Benjamin and all them. I don't know if you watch them at all. Their podcast is great, but like the last week and a half, it's all British shit. I like when they talk about American shit, but the problem is they're all English. So they're always talking about British shit, and it's like, I just don't care about that right now, you know? It's just not interesting.
Beans on toast.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not even going to talk about British cuisine, although I love fish and chips. Yeah, no, see, the thing is, I hate to be a YouTuber saying, oh, I don't watch YouTube, because I do. The problem is right now, I'm in kind of a rut where I'm intentionally seeking out people who do things a little different, cover different type of stuff, and so I'm not having this burnout, you know?
Yeah, I get it. But you're doing great. Happy to be a guest.
I'm just happy that we were able to make this happen. I'm sorry I had to keep you waiting for so long. It's like literally I saw the collab cam thing lit up and I'm like, okay, well, I'll give her a few minutes to get set and then I'll let her in. And it's like I realized, oh my god, it's been 20 minutes and she's still just sitting there.
I'm like, is he okay?
No, I'm over here furiously trying to get like thumbnail, fix this, edit that, get this topic. What else are we going to talk about? Oh my god, I got to set up Rumble because Rumble's a different stream ingest, and I have to plug that in right before. Oh, you know that Rumble has static key. Can't speak. I'm retarded. Static stream keys now, but I guess they recommend using the dynamic ones that change every time. But you can use the static ones that don't. Don't you stream to Rumble?
I do, but I go through StreamYard, so I have to set up the stream through Rumble.
Okay.
And when I go to StreamYard, I just select the stream that I want to broadcast to.
I got you. Yeah, I was trying to use Rumble Studio, and I've got like halfway set up on there. It's not great. It's not great. It's like StreamYard, but not as good. So it's yeah.
They've got some kinks to work out, for sure.
You're inspired to get up earlier again. Yeah, 40K. We'll get you back on here. Hopefully in the next couple weeks here. Shout out to Lotus Eaters. Dude, Luigi, I love Lotus Eaters. It's just that I'm kind of burned out with like the British politics. I don't quite care about the Labour Party. Don't quite care about what's his face, Keir Starmer. I know more about like different towns in England and different political issues. Oh my god, it's crazy. It's like you see video over there and you go, it kind of looks like here, just older buildings, and then they talk about it and go, yeah, it's not the same, not even close. Rumble sucks. Yeah.
Says, gotta watch the Cabal, which is the nickname for the group of streamers that I frequently stream with. A lot of it is, you know, pop news, pop culture, but like television series reviews, movie reviews. It kind of changes it up from a lot of the stuff that was getting to be old hat.
The thing is,
So-
it's not the streamers that I have an issue with. It's just the video content. So, like, I'll pop in, even if Words of Paradise, if Leon's streaming something that's a topic I've already covered or know something about, if it's at least a few people talking about it, that's something different. It's something interesting.
Sure.
Versus, here's an article, here's the information that you already know because you were going to cover it in a video or you covered it yesterday. So, have at it, you know?
Yeah. But with the Cabal, you get Erwin and me with like our prop comedy. It's a good time. So yeah, I have my Saucy Rabble show on Monday.
Oh my God. I need to get one of
It's a
those
whole
hats.
thing.
I need one of those
It's
hats.
great. You never know. But yeah, this was fun, and you're gonna be my guest and co-host on Saucy Rebel on Monday.
And you have to do all the prep. I love it. I don't have to do anything. And you've got StreamYard and you've got all the little buttons you just pushed and everything kind of switches around. Whereas if I
Honey
try,
boo boo, just sit back, relax, enjoy.
let me try one thing
fun.
before you leave real quick here. I want to switch scenes and see what happens because I've never done this. I have no idea if anything's going to change or not.
First time.
Hey, you stayed there. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh
What
my
happened?
God. Well, you can't see it. So I went full screen for me. So it's just my camera, but you're still in the corner here. Well, I guess you're on this side over here.
I'm waiting for YouTube to update.
Oh, it's probably going to take
see
like
the change.
15 seconds.
Because in Streamlabs, I just see the two of us like, oh, I see it now.
See, I had that set up where it's like, and I also have the chat, which is supposed to be on the right side of the screen, but for some reason it's not showing up. All right,
Do
guys.
better, Tebow.
I'm gonna let her go to bed. I'm going to go to bed. We're trying to catch up on Stranger Things season 3, which is not as good as any of those seasons, but we're like halfway through it. I'm not watching Daredevil anymore. That show sucks. Like, it's dead. Have you watched any of it?
I have not watched past the episode where Punisher shows up and has the mano-y-mano chat with him. I haven't watched any episodes beyond that, but
It's not worth it. Not worth it. It sucks. It's just blah. It's not as good. So don't waste your time. Watch something better. Do
okay.
better.
90 Day Fiance it is.
That's not bad. Okay.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Everyone,
joking. But also, yes.
thank Moxie for being here. Thank you for taking the time. I'm going to plug your channel one more time here. Make sure you guys are following her. I'm going to be over there on Monday. She does a bunch of stuff with a bunch of other people that are more popular than I am because they're not losers. They know how to do their stuff properly.
That new show I was supposed to do yesterday, but I was so exhausted I couldn't do it. I'm doing a new show on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific. There's a Choose Your Own Adventure AI dungeon website.
Oh, nice.
So I figured that would be a fun. Don't have to prep for it. Would just go in blind and then like have the chat. Like if, like we can figure out where we want to go. It'll be a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's fun for the chat too. But that'll be on Tuesday. So Monday, Tebow will be my co-host and guest and returning champion.
I looked like I had no
Tuesday-
teeth there for a second. I was like this.
Did you?
I look like an old man.
Have teeth under
I
there.
have no teeth. I look like an old homeless man with no teeth there. Oh my God. See, I need to make your camera on this screen. I need to make your camera. Oh shit! I just moved myself
No,
now.
you don't need to do that.
Yeah,
You don't need to do that. We just need to close it out. Say goodnight, everybody. Hi.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, you get out of here. I'm gonna close things up.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye bye now. Bye bye
Good
now.
night.
Bye bye. Bye bye now. Bye bye. All right, she's gone. Finally, it only took 2 hours to get rid of her. Oh my God. Awesome stream, awesome I don't know about that, Sonia. Tonight was kind of a shit show. I appreciate you guys for hanging, though, and I really appreciate Moxie for being patient with me. Because, like I said, I thought we were going to have things more lined up, ready to go as far as topics and everything else. And I did not have time to have anything ready. I was so disorganized. Like, this was... I feel bad for Moxie, but I appreciate you guys for showing up anyways. So yeah, we'll be on her channel on Monday. Friday night, I'm not doing my usual stream. I'm going to be over on Words of Paradise. His thing starts, I think, 10 o'clock. So an hour later than I usually stream. And then I'll just do a makeup stream on Saturday. Actually, I like streaming on Saturday. It's cool. It's different. It's like, it's what all the popular people do. So, all right, guys. Thank you all for hanging. Thank you guys again for the super chats, the memberships. You guys are too kind. Thank you for putting up with my retardation. It's a good way to end my day. So you're welcome, 40 Empress. And yeah, we'll get you back on here. I'm also trying to line up some other guests as well. So we'll try to see and schedule everybody as well. It's rare we use sub to Moxie. Hell yeah. There you go. Awesome. I say again, you guys are being too kind. You guys are, at least Moxie and I have a good rapport, so it's really easy to have a conversation with her. It's just that my selection of topics, let's be honest, I could have done better. We will do better. I'm going to do better. We have to do better. Take off the pantyhose. Man, I wasn't wearing any pants. I'm just kidding. I have pants on. I swear to God, I have never streamed without pants on. I promise you, on my life, that will never happen. Unless I'm like streaming at like 90. If I'm still doing this when I'm like in my senior years, you can bet your ass that I will not have pants on. I can guarantee it. So, all right, guys. That being said, I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Even those of you who don't like me, I still like you. The Nintendo chat was decent. Look at Oblivion hitting me with like the hard hitting, you know, reality here that the entire thing sucked, except for that. Yeah, Sonia, I think it's different if it's a guy. Answer pretty. Okay. Before we go, I can promise you this. Until I have an office or a man cave or a nook, some little private area to stream from that isn't my living room, I can promise you this. I will always have pants on. If that ever happens where anything changes... Oh, Moxie, what are you doing? No. Moxie. Trick is to go commando and have a fan under the desk at full speed. Came late. What about the big doggies? Big doggies. What are we talking about? I don't even know what doggies. Oh, the dire wolves. Basically, they're 99.5% gray wolf. 0.5% genetics have been. It's like they changed a few genes to make them white instead of gray. Is basically all it is. Dude, Moxie, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to be here, for putting up with all this shit. So, you're too kind. But yeah, the dire wolves, it's a lie. It's like vegan steak. It's not real. It didn't suck. I disagree. Except for you guys. My part of it was terrible. But that's okay. There's always room for improvement, especially after tonight. All right, as long as you guys all had fun, as long as Moxie got something out of it, and as long as I didn't embarrass myself too much with all those stories about cross-dressing, which again, it's not happening all the time, hasn't happened in years, let it go. All right, I'm out of here. You guys have a good night. I will catch you guys either on Words of Paradise over on Friday at 10 o'clock, or maybe Saturday night we'll do a makeup stream.